It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Paris Martineau's here. Jeff Jarvis has the week off. But hey, good news. Micah Sargent joins us. We'll talk about Australia's social media ban. How is that going to work? Meta's private internet cable, and why brain rot is the word of the year. Strikes me as two. But hey, we'll talk about that and more when Twig comes next.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 797, recorded Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. Nilcoin, it's good for nothing. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google, the show we cover the latest news from Google, the Googleverse, the Twitterverse, the Xverse, and the Inverse and the Obverse. And joining us today, Paris Martineau from the weekend edition of The Information, theinformation.com. Hello, Paris.
Hello, Leo.
You're back from Florida.
I know, they let me leave, thankfully.
We have video of the turkey.
That is
we'll
true.
Get to in the fryer.
My dad has been asking, do your friends online have any comments on the turkey? And I'm like, just wait.
You mean your grandpa's online?
Yeah.
Well, one grandpa is in San Francisco right now doing a speech at the Commonwealth Club, so he couldn't be with us. Fortunately, Micah Sargent has agreed to fill in, so it's great to see you, Micah, my old friend.
Hi, it's been a while.
Tech News Weekly and Hands-on Tech. Yes, I kind of miss doing the tech guys with you every Sunday morning, but I like having my Sunday mornings free, so that's nice. Yeah. I can go to church, temple, synagogue, and the mosque. I do that all at once.
Busy morning.
It's a busy
very
morning.
busy. Just popping into each one.
But you know how devout I am.
Entirely.
A man of many faiths, none of them strong.
All of them.
Oh, wow. Jack of all faiths.
Jack of all faiths. I like it. That's me. Wow. Let's see. Should we start? Okay, so here's the question. Should we start heavy or light? Should we start with the big news or the little news?
Little. I'm actually waiting for Paris to blow my mind with some weird coin that has some stupid name.
I got a story for you with that.
Oh, good.
So first of all, I have to confess, I've never seen the Tuah video.
Well, it's pretty simple. It's a girl who says, well, I don't know if I'm going to describe it.
Don't describe it, because then people want to know what it means. And
listen, don't search it unless you're willing
for sexual in nature? I have not seen it either. I just thought it was somebody who was just spitting. I didn't realize that it was...
Well, think about it.
They're spitting on that thing, is what it's described as.
That thing? Okay.
That's the full phrase.
Okay.
Tuah spit on that thing. I'm sorry for whoever has to bleep this out. I don't know what you would bleep from there.
It was a meme in the summertime. Was it even how recently was it? It was a while ago.
Like this summertime. It was a while. The girl behind it has turned what was a small video clip into a huge brand. Has podcasts, has merch. She has a costume line. All things.
She's actually had Mark Cuban on her podcast.
And yeah, she had a whole Halloween costume. You could be Tuah for Halloween. Now she has a cryptocurrency meme coin.
Oh,
what?
No. Oh no. What's it called?
What?
You know, that's a great question. I can't see it because there's a paywall.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay for Fortune just to see this. But she said it's on the Solana blockchain. She says it is not a cash grab.
It's the Hawk token.
Oh, the Hawk. Good.
We live in such a weird world. I don't know if our forefathers and mothers could have grasped what has happened to the world.
Here's a statement shared with CoinDesk. She says, "Who doesn't love a good meme? Becoming part of meme culture interested me in the world of crypto, and I've learned so much along the way. Launching my own token feels like the perfect next step, not just to create something meaningful for my fans, but to also protect my community from scammers."
In her distinctive Southern twang, Fortune writes, Welch explained she wants to change the public's view on crypto through her manager. There's the key, Johnny Forster. though her manager, Johnny Forster, interceded when asked about Hawk's valuation and legal uncertainty. We don't want to break security laws, he told Fortune. We would just say that we're almost like tokenizing, in a sense, Haliey's fan base. How do you pronounce that name, by the way? Haliey.
I assume Haliey.
Yeah,
Haliey
yeah.
Welch.
But it should be pronounced
Haliey.
Haliey. She's hawking crypto. The world of meme coins seems a fitting place for Welch, Fortune writes, whose TikTok video describing, well, you just use your imagination, garnered millions of views and vaulted her to sudden stardom. After her initial burst of fame, she stayed in the news with acts like throwing out the first pitch at a Mets game. And through her podcast, now I'm just going to kill myself, which debuted as the third most popular on Spotify.
Okay, debuted, though. Anybody can debut as a popular podcast if you gain a lot of followers at first, because you're going from zero to something.
Just gonna retire right now.
Yeah, it's sort of what velocity, right?
Retire on that thing.
As a fun thought exercise, I have a question for the two of you. If you were to release your own meme coin, what would your meme coin be called?
Well, I've got Twitcoin, obviously.
Yeah.
For twits, only for twits.
I guess it would be something about nihilism. Maybe it could just be like nil coin.
Nil coin. I love it.
That's good. I'd buy nil coin.
Yeah.
She told Fortune.
Nothing. And the line could be invest in nothing.
Invest in nothing.
And it's true. You will be investing in nothing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Get Jamie Forster on the line. I think we've got something. I think you need to represent this young lady. She's got a future. She said other celebrities like rapper Lil Pump. Is there a rapper named Lil Pump?
Yes.
Introduced her to crypto. She scored an invite to the crypto-powered fighting league Karate Combat. She used to think of, I don't know, crypto is just a scam. What? I don't know.
They eat crypto coins. That's how they gain their power.
I got karate coin. It's interesting. They've exploded in popularity as a form of social gambling. And actually, Andreessen Horowitz, who is invested in real crypto, says we don't like it because it's undermining the long-term vision of crypto.
Wow.
No, it's exactly what crypto is. It's bunk.
Mm-hmm. It's nil. It's all nil coin.
It's all nil coin. Oh, I love that. Invest in nothing. Nil coin. I love that.
I think it's pretty good.
Her 15 minutes of fame has really expanded dramatically.
I will say it's been astounding to me her ability to maintain some sort of relevancy despite the fact that she did literally nothing.
It's a capital.
She also launched an AI-powered dating app called Spooky Tools, which is a reference to another internet meme we're not going to get into. But
she, I think about my son who's, all into this culture. And I think, I could totally see him going, oh, yeah, that's good. By the way, at least give her credit. She's got the good taste to be using a Haliey PR40 with the appropriate pop filter. So,
who's probably responsible for that? I believe she's part of Jake Paul's podcasting company. So you can thank the Paul brother for that.
Oh, of course she is. Okay. Nice looking Hiles, though. That's good. All right. There you go. We did start with a light story. I don't blame her, right? No,
get every cent you can.
Get it. You go get it, girl. Yes.
What would your son's cryptocurrency be called? Hank coin?
Or Sando coin. Something like that.
Oh, Sando coin could be good.
Yeah. Salt coin. Good news. He acquired his lease to the Salt Hank Deli. You're going to be able to go to it in New York City later in early 2025.
Leo, get me an invite to the opening.
Oh, I will. I totally will get you an invite to the opening. That is a done deal. He's going to have a little studio in the back. It's in my favorite part of New York City, just near Washington Square Park.
In
Greenwich
Village?
It's in Greenwich Village,
great.
yeah.
So is he going to move to New York? Is he going to work there?
He's going to be the executive chef. Yeah, he's going to move to New York. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's taken over the slutty vegan shop.
Oh.
Do you know where
Was there
Slutty
before?
Vegan is on
Oh,
Bleecker?
do I know where Slutty Vegan is? I didn't know there was one in Manhattan. There is
Yeah.
one in Brooklyn. And I forgot if we've talked about this in the show, but Slutty Vegan is a honestly fantastic vegan fast food place in New York City. But I've discovered they have one downside, which is anytime somebody walks in the door, one of the employees has to go, another slut just walked in, and then all
Hello,
the employees
slut.
have to go, hey, slut. And it's awful. It's terrible. It's a nightmare every time. So it's a public good that he's taking over that spot.
I think maybe you
Was
should
the
get
food any good?
Haliey Welch at the grand opening, and they could say "Hawk Tuah" to everyone who walks in the door.
I don't know if you want to think about spitting when
Hank
you're eating
Tuah.
food.
Hank Tuah.
Tuah.
Yeah, Greenwich Village, nice area. I love the Village, and so it's on Bleecker Street, just so you know. And watch for it soon. Opening probably mid-year next year. They got to build it and stuff.
That's exciting.
I know, very exciting. Here's an interesting story. Amazon is now being sued by the District of Columbia's Attorney General because they won't send Prime delivery to certain zip codes. As low-income zip codes, maybe they're afraid. I don't know. They say, oh, let the Postal Service do it. Amazon deliberately and secretly stopped its fastest delivery service to the 50,000 Prime subscribers in low-income zip codes in D.C. That gave them slower deliveries. I wonder if that's why my little bottle brush Christmas trees aren't coming till Friday.
I think you aren't in one of these places.
I am in a
Yeah.
bad zip code.
Now, of course, this is the accusation, right? It's not proven
Right.
yet.
Well, they'll go to trial, I
exactly
guess.
go to trial for
We're
it, yeah.
suing to stop this deceptive contact, make sure district residents get what they're paying for. I'm not surprised, and I'm sure Amazon wasn't doing it to discriminate, but was thinking, oh, we don't want to send our drivers down into the hood.
Yeah, Amazon said that it disagreed that it had deceived customers and that it had told Prime subscribers in those areas during each stage of the delivery process. And it said it's worked with the Office of the Attorney General to support crime prevention and improve safety for drivers in those areas.
I understand that, but it's kind of sad that they're saying, yeah, let the Postal Service do it.
Right.
They're going there anyway, I guess.
At first, I didn't think this was. It's like what, but now I understand because these are Prime paying members. It is.
It's a form of redlining. It's redlining. It's saying we're not going to.
Your dollar is worth less than the other. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Which
in
is
2013, for example, the New York Times writes, the rest of the city's Prime members receive their packages within 2 days of checkout 75% of the time. But subscribers in these affected zip codes receive their packages within 2 days only 24% of the time, according to the suit.
It feels to me this is what Amazon's doing globally. I don't know about you, but every time I buy something on Amazon, I say, it'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here day after tomorrow. Like these little bottle brush Christmas trees, which I ordered 2 days ago, and now not going to come till Friday. They promised they'd be here today. This happens again and again.
They don't do the under-promise, over-deliver at Amazon, do they?
No.
They do the over-promise, under-deliver at Amazon.
Of course, we've been beating them up over driving their delivery people crazy with, demands. Mm-hmm. The last thing was the Amazon delivery trucks were being equipped with cameras to keep their drivers.
It's worth saying delivery people in quotes, because while these people are held to all these extremely high standards by Amazon, and like you're saying, have cameras installed in there that have Amazon employees watching them, the actual drivers are not legally considered Amazon employees. They're third-party contractors hired for full-time work by Amazon, so they can be paid less.
Oh, they don't actually work for the company. Yeah, right. They don't have to give them benefits. Here's the story from September in Jalopnik. Amazon drivers complained their ability to sing along with the radio is being stifled.
Their God-given right to sing along with the radio.
No singing. But again, Amazon has kind of a good reason. They say it's a cause of distracted driving, and it causes more accidents.
So was it what? They can't turn the volume up, or that they can't?
There's a camera in the. There's always been for the last 3 years a camera in these trucks watching them. Now, Amazon says Amazon's never issued guidance or communications to delivery service partners that prohibits singing in the vehicle. I can't
I can understand how this might ding them because this camera system, it's very precise. It's precise, but also inaccurate in what it does. It will sometimes ding people for having their eyes closed when really they are Asian or non-white in some way, that the camera is not reading their eyes correctly.
Oh,
it's
that's
also
terrible.
In the past, I've seen examples of people getting dinged for potentially distracted driving when they yawned once in the cab while driving.
Yikes.
Well, that's
so
it.
I could see
That's right.
how singing might flag the same sort of things.
Somebody posted on Reddit saying, yesterday was the last straw. I quit after my route last night. Why? At the morning safety briefing. Now, remember, these guys are contractors. Probably the briefing isn't an Amazon employee, right? So this is why Amazon can plausibly say, we don't tell them that. Somebody else does. We go through all the normal remember to stop at stop signs stuff, the Redditor writes. Then they tell us Amazon's really trying to cut down on distracted driving. So we can't be singing along to the radio because the camera will ding you for distracted driving. We were told a lot of mouth movement will set off the camera. Wow. So keep mouth movement to a minimum.
Probably it was programmed to see if somebody was taking a call or something while they were driving, and then it's not being paid close enough attention to audit it and go, oh no, this is just singing in the car, which arguably is not very.
Amazon says, look, the cameras are there, so if there is an accident, we can roll back and see if the driver did something dumb.
But see, that's the other problem with you. If you have a third party, then you sometimes get these rulings in place that aren't actually there, but it's because some manager thinks that that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, Apple used to have that problem, right? With the companies that were making iPhones would be,
very hard,
draconian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Apple would say, well, hey, it's not us. They finally got. All right, you've been waiting for it. You deserve it now, ladies and gentlemen. Little drum roll, please. Paris's dad deep frying
a turkey.
The turkey
in the driveway.
Should I turn the audio on? Is your dad going to take us down for this?
No, he will not. He's thrilled.
All right.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone across the world.
People are playing cornhole in the back.
Very Midwestern.
Across the world.
He knows. He has fans in, where is it, Brazil?
He's got fans in Brazil. He's thrilled to...
Who is this guy who's decided he wants to be on camera? Is this your grandfather?
He's a local pastor that my parents play tennis with. His name's Kim.
Oh, that looks good.
Right?
Was it delicious?
It was delicious. It was
How long had it been in there for?
45 minutes.
That's a bird. We're going to take it and let it rest for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to carve it up.
Is it greasy at all?
It looks this good. I hope it tastes better, but that's going to be very hard to do. This is a perfect bird. Happy Thanksgiving.
Doesn't her dad look like a movie star, Micah?
Yes, absolutely.
He's a total movie star.
Ponytail and everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, he decided to grow out his hair during the pandemic, and it's really led to an entire change in his persona.
Well, he is rocking the persona.
You saw him in Brazil, right? Being chased by fans.
Oh, there's a great video.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
wild.
I saw that. That was amazing.
Put him in a tux, give him a couple of security guys in sunglasses talking into their sleeves.
I'd be convinced.
He's indistinguishable from any major celebrity in the world.
It's true.
I noticed you posted that on Bluesky. Is that your new...
I've really been enjoying Bluesky. I mean, it's just been a lovely week. There's so much more engagement I found on Bluesky.
Inevitably, they are now, because X is really... is it fair to say X.com is tilted slightly to the right? Inevitably, as a result,
Washington Post analysis has found that, yes.
Okay. So actual studies show... So naturally, people are saying, well, that means Bluesky must be left-leaning.
In comparison, I guess.
Yeah. 10 million new users since the election. I think it's more than that by now. This story came out a couple of days ago, so that's roughly right. Chief Operating Officer Rose Wang says, we are not anti-Musk and we are not politically left-leaning. It's a U.S.-centric left-leaning. To say that it's U.S.-centric left-leaning is not correct. Well, we know there are a lot of Brazilians in there since when X kind of had a problem in Brazil. Blue Sky plans.
I will say, I mean, obviously the COO can speak to this more than I can. So somewhat discounted what I would say. There is one of the many feeds I subscribe to on Blue Sky, which I love, though I have custom feeds, is one called Most Liked that claims to just, I haven't checked out the GitHub code, but it just claims to list the posts with the most likes on Blue Sky over the last 24 hours. And I will say, whenever I do look at that, it is almost exclusively left-leaning posts that are getting the most likes. But perhaps that is like an English-centric metric. I'm not entirely sure. But I do think there is some perception that is perhaps accurate that a lot of the recent users joining seem to have a bit more of a left bent than a right wing bent.
Here's the real question.
It just adds up.
Yeah, but the real question is, if you went in there as a conservative, would you be, shadow banned and yelled at, and would you be chased off the platform? I don't think so.
People would probably block you, but
you would be blocked. Yeah.
They'd probably do that on Twitter too.
But
so it's the MSNBC of social networks, is what you're saying.
That seems a little too far in the sense that indicates to me that all of the posts are of one political persuasion. I certainly don't think that's the case. Like we said before, there are a wide array of communities across the political and geopolitical spectrum on Blue Sky. It does seem like the posts that get the most numeric likes all at once are often like American left-leaning posts. But I don't think that those two things are like totally mutually exclusive.
I mean, I don't know why it even matters.
I mean, we're not having this conversation about like Parler or Gab or
Truth Social, the president's own social network, which, despite the fact that it's losing money, bleeding money because it has so few users, is valued in the billions of dollars.
And I mean, similarly, like what we just talked about, Twitter, like independent analyses of how Twitter ranks posts and promotes posts has found that it, since Musk's takeover, seems to favor American conservative politicians over, more left-leaning posters. And it's also owned by a close advisor of the incoming Republican president. So I would say that makes it right-leaning.
Do you worry, because she also said Blue Sky plans to launch a subscription service by the end of the year, which is only 3 weeks off? They will charge for services like higher quality video uploads and profile customizations. I think it's probably good because how do they make money otherwise?
Exactly. You've got to keep it going, and especially if it's going to continue to grow, how do you make money? And if it's the concern, of course, of the eventual insurtification that always takes place, but we're still in those early days. But yeah, you've got to make money somehow. And if that's
do they have ads? Have you seen ads on? I haven't seen any ads on.
I haven't seen ads.
No. Well, one of the things
the COO has to say, hey, we're neutral. We're a neutral milk hotel because we want you all to come here. Everybody should be able to be on this platform. So like it's within the COO's best interest to not try to label,
right.
I'm not in a box, because I want to attract as many users as possible so that I can get that daily active user count up. And at the same time, we saw a lot of positive response to the incoming presidency for the sake of making sure that everybody's big businesses are not targeted in any way. And I think there's an aspect there too, where it's like, oh, no, please don't look at us as the left-leaning social network. That's not something
now.
we want to be. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Not now.
Yeah. Don't put us on that list. Hey, have you ever stayed at the Neutral Milk Hotel?
I personally no.
Just curious if it's a good place. Is it a 3-star, 4-star? Did you say the Neutral
banjos.
Milk Hotel?
Yeah,
Did you actually say that?
That's a band.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping Paris would. Yeah, it was sort of a little...
I got it.
Thank you.
So
I at first thought Leo was doing a joke, but that's how much I got it. But no.
And you should understand, Micah, that Paris works with her two grandpas. And so a lot of this show is Paris and now you explaining.
That's true.
What the
little jokes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I've had to explain what yassified means to Leo multiple times on this show.
I'm glad that you are explaining.
He keeps forgetting.
That was Micah's job, so he's glad to hand it off.
Although I feel like if anybody, John Ashley is the knowledge guy when it comes to online meme culture. Every time he's saying these weird names, I'm going, I have no idea who he's talking about, and he's like, yeah, that guy's pretty bad, or that gal. Ooh,
Have you ever heard of the rapper? What was it? Little Hopper? Little Robber? What was his?
If we're talking about Little Pump, he is a stain on the earth.
Just I don't know who Lil Pump is.
Don't look it up. Don't bother.
Like
terrible name.
Lil followed by anything, and there is a rapper somewhere with that name.
100%.
He's a SoundCloud rapper.
He's a SoundCloud rapper who is a huge. I'm going to go political. He's a very huge Trump fan.
All right. He's right-leaning then.
He's very right-leaning. He's very into crypto.
His first hit was called Gucci Gang.
Yeah, it's not worth talking about. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. But I now know that Tuah learned about crypto from Lil Pump. And I can't believe I said that sentence. You're watching This Week in Google with an old guy and two young people. That's a switch. Used to be a young person and two old guys. Jeff has the week off. If you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, don't forget he's speaking tonight from his book, The Web We Weave, at the Commonwealth Club. And I think tickets are still available. If you go to the Commonwealth Club and search for Jeff Jarvis, go see him in person if you want, or online. They have online only tickets. This Week in Google continues with one of the big stories of the week. We talked about it a lot on Sunday. Australia has passed a law banning everyone under 16 from social media. How is Neutral Milk Hotel or Little Pump going to get out there with the youngs if you don't have social media? Can they even enforce
They can
this?
access YouTube. Yes. So
isn't that weird? Wait a minute. They banned social media, but they allow YouTube.
Categorize it.
Because they said it can be educational.
So, okay, hold on. Does that mean that there is a team of 5 or 6 people, I'm guessing, who their sole responsibility is to go through the list of continually adding social media networks or online sites and say, that one goes, that one can stay, that one goes, that one can stay? How are they deciding between what is what? Because yes, there's a social media aspect to YouTube, and you could also argue that people learn a lot on TikTok. There's a lot of educational content there.
Of course.
Is TikTok okay?
Why is TikTok different than YouTube? Maybe because it's Chinese. I don't know. Here's a funny little bit in the law. This is from the New York Times. After privacy rights came up, the law specifies users will not be forced to provide government identification. So social networks have to ban people under 16, but they can't ask for ID.
Good luck.
I guess this is good for
Will
Yachty.
Not be forced, I think it says. I'm interested to see whether or not
users can't be compelled to provide ID.
Can't be compelled.
Users will not be forced to provide government ID.
Interesting.
So somehow, this is really a lot of hand waving from the Australian Parliament saying, well, we don't know how you're going to do it. We don't even know when platforms will be covered. The Prime Minister said Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and X will be included, but YouTube and messaging apps are expected to be exempt. By the way, this is a Rupert Murdoch joint. This is because Rupert Murdoch's newspapers in Australia started a campaign to get this law passed in the summer to protect the youngs.
What do you think the real reason was? Why? What?
Well, I think Rupert has for a long time, and he certainly pursued this agenda in the Wall Street Journal and his other newspapers, not liked the internet because it takes away readers' eyeballs.
Yeah. So they'll come.
Doesn't like
instead.
Google because Google gives you search results, and then you don't ever read the Wall Street Journal or the Sun or any of his other newspapers. I think he just doesn't. He just does not like the internet. Of course, it also is the case that teenagers will immediately get around it. Right?
Exactly. Because even in the US, where Facebook and other platforms have for a long time had an age restriction, we all just put a different date of birth in order to be on those platforms. So they'll just do that here. It doesn't really have an impact, but they get to claim that they've made a change and they've done it for the youth, and they're making the world a better place because of it. And it's just ridiculous. It's not. Especially if you're not going to enforce it at all by not requiring some sort of identification. What's really happening here other than, as you said, some hand waving?
I bet what's going to happen is Instagram or Meta and TikTok are going to end up using facial age verification, which they already have in place currently, like Yoti, the company we spoke about last week, because it doesn't require an ID. But it's slightly more, it's more accurate than just putting in your date of birth. And that could have unintended consequences because
I think there should be an
they
app
have
that
small differences for people who are not white and who are not male.
Right.
And while they're only a couple tenths of a percentage point, if you trust the data from Yoti, even if that's true on a massive countrywide scale, that could have a considerable impact on that population. So
I'll give you 2 points of view quoted by the New York Times that both kind of add to this conversation. One adult said, look, it's obvious, an adult with teenagers said, it's obvious this isn't going to stop everybody, but what it is going to do is kind of take away the magic of social media so that parents, it'll change. This is a Danny Alaki, who has 5 children between the ages of 7 and 15. We know what Danny has not been doing. Said the law would help change the norms around social and media usage so that many parents concerned about the harmful effects who feel they have no choice but to let their children use it won't feel that pressure. So, and that's probably the case. Even if it doesn't stop everybody, at least it will make it less buzzy among young people. But then they also quote a 17-year-old who runs a news site in Australia, Leo Puglisi. And he says, first of all, that his 14-year-old brother will easily find a way around it. But I think this is a really good point. None of the harmful content will be removed. He says he just kicks the can down the road and throws you into the deep end at 16. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point, too.
Which is sort of the argument to be made about like sex education, for example.
Right.
The abstinence teaching that is in the same vein of tell them don't do it or you'll die and see what happens.
It hasn't worked, has it?
Education. Exactly.
You come from an area of the country where that's probably how they taught it.
It was when I grew up. I don't know if that's still the same way. It definitely was for my mom's generation. And guess who had me at 16 years old? Yeah. My mother. So that stuff doesn't, I know.
So you should be pretty glad, actually.
I am very glad
that they're pitching abstinence.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, no,
it's a really good point. I mean, it's like
abstinence teaching. It does.
Don't look. Okay, now look. That's a terrible thing. Plus, it also ignores the fact that they're going off of Jonathan Haidt and other, I think, pretty specious writing saying that there's a mental health crisis among teenagers and it's all down to social media, which makes sense, I guess. If you don't think about it, kind of, I guess that sounds reasonable. But those kids are not necessarily isolated. For many kids, that's their social. We can't judge it because it wasn't that way when we were growing up, but that's their social network, right? Mm-hmm. Are you guys young enough that you had in your teen years a social network online?
Yeah, I remember using Facebook sort of. Towards when I was older.
I guess mine would have been like MySpace, Zynga sort of era.
My 32-year-old daughter Abby used Neopets.
Yeah, I used Neopets, but I don't know if that was a social.
I didn't.
It wasn't social friends. For you. How about MySpace? Did you create a MySpace page?
Definitely, I have MySpace. and my friends were all there. But
yeah.
It
was a clubhouse.
Social media,
Yeah.
I also take umbrage with the parent who was quoted in this, because that really smacks of, I don't want to talk to my kid and explain things. I just want to say, well, that's the law, kid. And I don't like that parenting style of trying to avoid any sort of, let me have a real conversation with you and explain the possible consequences and treat you like a human being. Instead, I'll just go, it's the law, so we don't need to worry about it. I get the idea that there's less social pressure, but I don't like the idea of just saying, okay, well, the only reason, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, is kind of a cop-out, in my opinion.
The government made that rule. The government, by the way, says companies have 12 months to figure it out. You can't use ID, but you'll figure it out. They quote Julie Inman Grant, who is Australia's e-safety commissioner. She said, "I have no doubt the tech giants will find a way to comply. They've got financial resources, technology, and some of the best brain power. If they can target you for advertising, they can use the same technology and know how to identify and verify the age of a child." Is that reasonable? I think maybe that is, actually.
I mean, I do think it's reasonable that tech companies can reasonably estimate that most people under 18 are probably under 18, or are under 21 at least, Like, I think that they can make broad assumptions through minor technical and privacy intrusions, as we've seen so far.
What we really need is a technology that understands the emotional age of these people, whether social media is appropriate, not the physical chronological age, but there are some people who are older than 16 who aren't emotionally ready for social media, and there's some people under 16
Speaking of people who are perhaps a little emotionally immature, Reuters had a good point in their article on this, which said, the ban could, however, strain Australia's relationship with key ally, the United States, where ex-owner Elon Musk, a central figure in the administration of President-elect Donald Trump, said in a post this month it seemed a, quote, backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians, end quote. I mean, I think we could certainly see Elon Musk trying to push for this to be a public policy priority of the U.S. to kind of push back against Australian
he would be affected.
influence.
I mean, X is one of the social networks they're talking about. He would have to figure out a way to age.
I mean,
verify.
yes, but also how many 13 to 16-year-olds are on Twitter?
No, they don't care.
Not that many.
They don't care. It's really Snap and Insta. Those are the big two, I would guess. TikTok, yeah. Oh, well, we'll watch with great interest as Australia tries to figure this one out.
Yeah, I read somewhere, it's been a long time, I think it may have been a New York Times piece, but it talked about how Australia is in many ways a testing bed for eventual U.S. legislation, and that at times, through the work of lobbying efforts and some other means, they can kind of let loose some of these, especially in big tech, let loose some of these laws and see how it's impacted there and use that to shape what goes on elsewhere. And I've always found that fascinating from that point that I read that on, seeing what Australia, pushes through and doesn't, and how it's impacted there.
It could be as simple as Rupert Murdoch using Australia as a test bed.
Could be.
So the Australian social media ban, this is from Reuters, started with a call to act by a politician's wife. The spark that ended, that was when the wife of the leader of Australia's second smallest state read The Anxious Generation, there's Jonathan Haidt's book, okay, and told her husband, we've got to do something about this. I remember precisely the moment she said to me, her husband said, you've got to read this book and you've got to do something about it. He's the South Australia Premier, Peter Malinauskas. I didn't reasonably anticipate it would take on so quickly. So part of it, though, was because the Rupert Murdoch News Corp and the country's biggest newspaper publisher began an editorial campaign in May to ban children under 16 from social media, calling it their campaign, Let Them Be Kids. Through the middle of the year, News Corp mastheads and the parliamentary inquiry aired emotional accounts from parents whose children had taken or lost their lives as a result of bullying and body image problems tied to social media. It was a big propaganda campaign. And I feel for those parents, but they were being used by Murdoch.
It is
Albanese.
Interesting, though, because Murdoch has been so vocally in favor of stuff like this in Australia. Meanwhile, in the U.S., News Corp has spent like $2 million lobbying against COSA and similar like provisions.
Oh, really? Have they? I didn't know that.
This was disclosed in a Wall Street Journal article the other week about just lobbying efforts on the Kids Online Safety Bill. And I found it so fascinating. I was like, wow.
What? Did it explain?
That's
They said the only line in the story is this. Non-tech company, they're talking about objections to COSA. Non-tech companies are also objecting for reasons including concerns about determining the age of users. News Corp, which owns the Wall Street Journal, has spent about $1.9 million lobbying in the past 2 years on topics that included the bill. That's it. Very sparse, but interesting.
Well, but that's interesting. Topics related to the bill, not the bill itself.
Does that mean against it also, or does that?
But I mean, why would it be? I feel like the Wall Street Journal people probably have an accurate estimation of what News Corp is, whether they are lobbying for or against. Why would they include it in the non-tech companies are objecting section?
That's true. I missed that part. See, and that's where I'm going. What's the actual motivation? What is it? Because it's not your first thought of what it is. It's not the second thought of what it is. There's other 4D chess going on here.
I mean, it could be as simple as the Australian law specifically targets social media companies. COSA targets internet service providers generally. So it would potentially implicate or require companies like the Wall Street Journal to make sure that its users are above 16 or something. Not that I feel like many 14-year-olds are reading the Wall Street Journal.
And if they do, encourage them, because that's a good thing. You want your 14-year-old to read the Wall Street Journal. It's what was it? Family Ties was the one with Michael J. Fox, and he wore a suit and he was very serious, and his parents were hippies.
Was this another 60s sitcom?
You don't remember that show? Do you remember?
Oh no,
Micah?
it's the 80s.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God! I thought I was being young and hip and referring to that.
I know that show.
Referring to a show that aired exclusively in the 80s.
Oh my God!
I'm only 32.
Stephen and Elise Keaton, once 1960s radicals, now find themselves in a Reagan-era America, trying to raise a traditional suburban family. Son Alex P. Keaton is an ambitious young Republican, and his sister Mallory is a shallow victim of the corporate culture.
And I'm pretty sure Alex P.
Music,
Keaton read the Wall
boards.
Street Journal. I'm pretty sure he did. All right. You're watching The Old Guy and Two Young People on This Week in Google.
Oh, how the turntable.
Yeah, I feel I now understand how you feel being Paris, being like...
that was a reference.
Yeah.
Was it?
That was a reference to The Office.
Oh, how the turntables?
Yeah.
Did Michael Scott say that? I bet he did.
Yeah, good. Very good.
How the turntables. That's good.
We're proud of you.
You know, Micah used to do an Office podcast.
I did.
Watchable. Yeah.
It is called Somehow I Manage.
It's just a great name for a show.
That is really good.
Wonderful name. I might steal that from my
Office
blog.
podcast, D&D podcast. What can't you podcast about?
He does it all.
I did a podcast on sleep science and dreams at one point called Lucid. You can do it all.
Also good name.
This is completely parenthetical, but I have for years not been able to sleep through the night. I'd wake up and buy stuff on Instagram. As you know, as you well know.
That's probably the Ambien you take. Yeah.
I don't take anything to go to sleep at all. I just have a hard time falling back asleep if I wake up, and that's usually around 3 or 4 in the morning. but it's over the last 2 weeks it stopped, and I started taking a magnesium supplement. And I wonder if it's that.
Yes, oh wow, that's wild. I was literally going to suggest, if you're weird about melatonin or anything else, try magnesium. I'm so glad you're doing that. Yeah, it makes me wonder if in the middle of the night, what's happening while you're still asleep has to do with some form of restless muscles or even aches in the body that are waking you up, and magnesium helps to calm your muscles down.
And
if you want to get that supplement, listeners, go to infowars.com/supplements.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to get even more detailed because it's got some name like brain magnesium, because it is a form. Magnesium can come in a variety of forms, and this one is designed to pass through the blood-brain barrier. Oh,
brain magnesium.
Oh.
It's brain in fact, let me just pull it up so you can see it. I'm looking for it now on my. It's called Neuromag. Neuromag L-threonate magnesium.
Magnesium L-threonate. They attach it to some sort of first generation antihistamine, so that it'll actually cross the blood-brain barrier.
Wow.
Here's the problem. I started reading the supplements subreddit.
Don't do that.
Now I'm.
I don't know, but now it's working.
What's weird is, and I didn't associate the two. It wasn't like I thought, oh, now I'll sleep well, but I didn't. I realized that that's the timing. And I have heard that magnesium is helpful in sleep.
Yep, you were biphasic before, and now you're back to.
Now you're sleeping through the night.
I literally sleep like a little baby. I sleep through the night.
Two things. One, that's great. People should use supplements if they feel like it's good. But also, everyone be aware that supplements could contain anything. They're not regulated by the FDA. 3, right as I was about to film my dad taking the turkey out of that pot in our driveway, I was really tired. I realized later, because I had been drinking on the non-drinking antibiotics. But that's beside the point. I was really tired and was like, man, I'm so tired. And my dad was like, oh, have you tried Joe Rogan's NeuroGum? No. And I was like, oh.
Were you being trolled?
No. And so I thought, and I was like, well, one in Florida, I guess. And so I did try. It's not by Joe Rogan. I guess he just promoted it once. I wouldn't recommend it. It didn't really do anything for me, but I thought that's where you're going when you said neuro-something. But no.
Oh, God, NeuroGum.
It didn't taste good, and it didn't really make me that much more awake. But the phrase, have you tried Joe Rogan's NeuroGum?
Does your dad chew it?
Yes.
Oh.
Have you tried Joe Rogan's NeuroGum?
I was like, I haven't, but
oh,
sure.
yeah, this is the future of gum and mints.
Gum and mints?
It's
you
a
may
nootropic.
have wondered. You may have wondered, what is the future of gum and mints?
I've always wondered what the future of gum and mints is.
There's a science to the science. There you go. That's a phrase that really encourages you.
Are you kidding me? There's a science to the science?
And you know what the science is? We've gone through dozens of formulations, processes, and tests to ensure each gum and mint we make delivers on the promise of getting you in the right state at the right time. Trademark.
Which one did you have? Energy and focus, sleep and recharge, or calm and clarity?
I think energy and focus. It had caffeine. I looked. It had like caffeine in it. It was caffeine.
This guy's been chewing it so long he stopped wearing clothing. So that's impressive.
It warms him up too much.
Joe Rogan
probably has lion's mane in it or something.
Endorsed it for energy and focus.
Well, okay. I might as well reveal that now that we don't have ads anymore, I am going to start selling
gum and mints.
Gum and mints. No.
I love the idea that you reach into the package and you don't know if you're going to pull out gum or mint.
Is it a mint?
I know.
Should I chew it? Should I suck it?
The thing is, Micah, I did that. I reached in and I pulled out what looked like a mint. It's like one of those big circular, like white flat things. And I was like, oh, I guess this isn't a gum. It's a mint. But no, it was gum. It was gum.
It was gum masquerading as a mint.
As a mint, yes.
Okay, so I think we should probably say at this point, as you started to, do not listen to us.
Yeah.
Do not buy this crap.
I will say I had it. Wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it was fun for a moment to just live in the uncertainty of will this do anything for me? It didn't.
We haven't used science in our science.
There's science.
And as you point out, you're really, you're right when you say the FDA does not regulate supplements. It's exempt.
Yeah, there could be anything in there, especially if you're buying them from Amazon, Leo. There could be anything in there. I don't buy even like toiletries from Amazon because there could be anything in there.
I could be sleeping so because it has heroin in it. It could just
lab,
be. It's got a new. It's made from poppies.
Microdosing poppy seeds.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Well, we get you feeling something.
But where do we draw the line? We got to trust somewhere, people.
Well, that's
Trust
actually
nothing.
the question
Life
of the era.
And facts, all a myth. The human language made up.
But don't you think that you have to, at some point as an adult, kind of make a decision about what sources to trust and what sources not?
Yes. This gets frustrating for me talking to other people. It frustrates me talking to other people. No, talking to other people who will just decide that they don't trust anything unless they've discovered it or figured it out themselves. But the problem with that is they then won't go discover it or figure it out themselves. So they just are left not trusting and believing in anything. And so it's like science is out the window, research studies are out the window. Well, they could have lied about this because one time I was part of this thing where we were supposed to be collecting data and all of the data was fudged. So obviously all data must be fudged across everything.
Well, it might be. It's true. Eric Duckman in our YouTube chat says he trusts Mayo Clinic, WebMD, and maybe Healthline. Those all have been in the past reasonably trustworthy sources of medical information. Right?
I think it's about how you use those, right? Because WebMD can very easily tell you you've got a brain tumor when you don't, depending on what symptoms you pop into it. And so it's about what you do when you're using them. And for me, I tend to, if it's an article from one of these sites, I will look at the person who wrote this article and at least do a little bit of clicking and searching due diligence to kind of try to find where they came from and if they've got their hand in the cookie jar of big sugar or whatever it happens to be whenever it's a story about sugar replacements. But
yeah, you pay. I trust you, actually.
Yeah, I am one person you listen to.
I listen to you because you do look into all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think increasingly it's difficult for us, all of us, to know who to trust. The minute private equity buys WebMD or the Mayo Clinic starts using AI to generate its articles, and that both things could happen, and then all bets are off.
Then we have to I don't know what we do at that point.
This brings me to our word of the year, ladies and gentlemen, which is brain rot.
Which is not, I guess it counts as a compound word.
Yeah, it's not a word. First of all, Oxford University Press, it's 2 words.
Those should be phrase of the year, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I would argue that brain rot should be spelled without
just a space.
Oh, it's one word, brain rot. Brain rot.
Brain rot.
They call it the phrase or word of the year. It's a term that captures the concerns about the impact of consuming excessive amounts of low-quality online content, especially social media.
Are you calling my podcast brain rot? How dare you?
This is from the BBC. The usage of the term brain rot saw an increase of 230% in the last year. It's a symptom of the times we're living in, says a psychologist and Oxford University professor. Brain rot beat 5 other phrases on the dictionary publisher's shortlist, including, are you ready for this? You're going to have to explain it to me. Demure.
Oh, God. Very mindful.
That's
very
the TikTok.
Mindful.
Demure and mindful. That's the TikTok meme that they're suing. Somebody's suing somebody else over stealing.
Well, that's the clean girl lifestyle suit.
Oh, that's the clean girl lifestyle, yeah. Romantasy. I've
this
never
is brain
heard
rot,
that.
actually. Romantasy is romantic fantasy novels. It's big on book talk. It's a subgenre.
Okay. Is it a commonly used phrase?
I've heard it actually a lot in the last 6 months.
Dynamic pricing. I've heard that one.
What is that?
That's clearly literally 2 words. It's not even close to
Just
1 word.
A price changing, dynamic pricing is just a price changing.
It's the flip side of surge pricing, right? It's just the pricing changes depending on demand.
Okay, so
I don't like that was included.
Anyway, they crossed those off.
Okay,
Brain
good,
rot is the winner. Defined as the supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as the result of overconsumption of material considered to be trivial or unchallenging, like this show. Henry David Thoreau actually included the phrase in Walden in 1854.
Wow. They were worried about brain rot even back then.
He wrote,
although it was very real back then, it was a disease.
While England endeavors to cure the potato rot, will not any endeavor to cure the brain rot, which prevails so much more widely and fatally?
I still think that he could have been talking about a disease.
It could be actual brain rot, is what you're saying. Yeah,
some sort of amoeba.
There is there is no evidence of brain rot actually being a thing, says the same professor. Instead, it describes our dissatisfaction with the online world. Oh, it's a meta world.
That's true, because it is. It's people complaining about the things they don't like online.
It's a word we can use to bundle our anxieties that we have around social media. That's psychologist and Oxford University professor Andrew Przybylski.
The other 2 words on the short list were lore and slop, which I both think are good.
Those are good words.
Lore, I feel like has been a big one this year. Slop
lore.
as in like
LORE, lore.
Yeah. But used in like the sense of I've got lore, or let's like talk about our lore, like your background, history, anything, like kind of just as a shorthand for a lot of information.
So last year's word was Riz.
I hate that.
I do remember having to explain that to you guys.
You explained rizzing up and all of that stuff. And I'm glad you did, because I've been seeing it a lot in
I showed
TV
you
ads.
the Baby Gronk Livy Riz video, which still to this day means nothing. That's brain rot.
Right.
That is total brain
That's
rot.
funny. It's because Riz and brain rot kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Demure dynamic pricing lore, a body of supposed facts background. Lore is a real word. Okay. Romantasy, not. What is slop?
AI slop.
Oh, yeah.
Art, writing, or other content generated using AI.
Okay.
But
That's
low quality stuff.
This is from the Oxford University Press, who publish the OED, which is widely considered the definitive I have the
OED is fantastic. Honestly, the online is phenomenal too. You can look up the etymology of words.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, that's what I have, the 25 volume set on my library. Manifest was the winner last month, according to Cambridge Manifest Cambridge Dictionary.
It just means, it's like not manifest like a plain manifest, but to bring something about. You're saying, I am manifesting happiness this year.
I'm manifesting more advertisers for next week.
Yes.
Dua Lipa manifested her performance at Glastonbury.
No.
That would be a more traditional use of the word, I'd say.
You could say she manifested a great performance, I guess, would be a little bit more. Yeah. Or like manifested rave reviews of her performance.
They say manifested her headline slot at Glastonbury as an example.
Well, they're wrong.
They're wrong. Okay. Collins English Dictionary last month said the word of the year was brat.
Ugh.
I think brat. Okay.
Wait, last month?
Yeah, they announced that in November that brat was the word of the year.
Is this a different dictionary?
Yeah, Collins.
That is.
These are all the other. Yeah, these are the
other
ones.
For the year, that's wrong. Brat was the word of the summer. It was brat summer, but it is not a year.
And once Kamala Harris lost the election, everybody denies any knowledge of the word brat. It's over. Sorry, Charlie.
We actually started pronouncing it brat.
Brat.
Yeah.
Short for bratwurst,
Demure took off after content creator Jules LeBron posted on TikTok about her demure work outfit and mindful makeup. Very demure.
Very mindful.
Very mindful.
Demure.
Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The latest in Etymology? What is the study of words? Etymology is a study of word
Dictology?
roots. Dictology. The latest in dictology on This Week in Google.
I guess,
dictology. I have one thing to say to that. Tuah. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very demure. Very much.
John is running away from the podcast.
Lexicology.
No brain rot here.
Not dictology.
I have so much brain rot listening to you all talk about all of this.
We have created brain rot.
I'm manifesting that as the word of the year next year, dictology.
Dictology. Mm-hmm. Could we? I mean, if we, really created a campaign, could we create a word of the year? No, because the people even who create it don't have any control over it. It just kind of becomes a life of itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
gotta go viral,
demure, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's got to go. And does anyone yet know how to make something go viral?
Right. I don't know that it's possible. I mean, they come close. There are some who, work their formulas.
Mr. Beast tries really hard, but I don't know if that.
But part of that is just building on what fan base you already have, right? Yeah. And so it's different from just coming up out of nothing and suddenly Demure Mindful is on the waves.
Yeah. All right, you're watching This Week in Dictology. TWID. It's a new show. It's very exciting. This Week in Google. Micah Sargent filling in for Jeff Jarvis. Great to have you, Micah. Thank you. He's
good to be here.
Tech News Weekly, hands-on technology. When's the next crafting corner coming up?
That will be December 19th. We're doing a special early episode because I heard from some European folks who said, please let me tune in. So 9 a.m. on Thursday, December 19th. You'll all be able to join me for Crafting Corner. And we'll continue working on Jason's Kitchen, which is the name of the little wow, I'm breaking it apart. Little miniature that we're building together. So,
oh, jeez. So you're not doing cruel work now. You're building a miniature kitchen.
That's one that I made. It is plugged in, so I can't really bring it over, but it's a coffee shop.
Lights.
Yes, it's got little lights in it. Yeah.
Do you play lo-fi music out of it just to?
Yeah, exactly. Lo-fi coffee shop music.
Yeah.
I ended up, so basically I was building one, Jason's Kitchen, for Crafting Corner, and I was enjoying it so much that I said, I just want to get one to do on my own time. And I ended up getting sick. And so while I was not feeling well, I just sat there at the kitchen counter, like wrapped in a blanket, building for hours. I had so much fun. It was great.
Perfect.
That's lovely.
I've been staying up late doing Advent of coding challenges in Common Lisp.
And you're doing it on stage. That's kind
in
of
real time.
heavy.
Yeah, with real people
stuff.
watching me make stupid mistakes.
This is your practice for finally just saying, I'm going to do Jeopardy, isn't it?
Oh, God, no.
If you can do this, then you can do Jeopardy.
I could do Jeopardy, yeah. Jason Snell, by the way,
Leo,
is also...
we need to finally do our Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough.
And now
Micah,
John Ashley says we're going to do a marathon network marathon game.
Okay, hold on. You said...
Well, you backed it up immediately.
Yeah,
Wait,
I was like,
marathon?
I'll participate. I didn't say I didn't actually.
What is marathon though? Because
it's a very old game. Predates you. It was big in the mid '90s. It was the folks who did that.
Predate me.
The folks who
came
did
out
that
in '94.
Okay, well, that's about when it came out.
I came out in '92.
Oh, okay. So you were 2 years old when you played Marathon.
Exactly.
It does predate me.
Yeah, it does predate her. It was the folks who did it were Bungie, who eventually were acquired by Microsoft, did Halo. But
okay.
Halo really was the descendant of Marathon, and it was one of the first multiplayer online games. You could do it at a LAN party kind of thing. And we used to do it on the site on MSNBC back when I was working there.
When you were Dev Null?
Yes, very good. And it turns out Karsten Bondi, who was part of the Dev Null team, and a producer at the show told me much later, he said, yeah, we all hated you. And so we all decided to gang up on you in Halo and or a Marathon and frag you with the rocket launchers.
Wow. What did you do? Were you just annoying because you were Dev Null?
I guess I was annoying. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Dev Null did seem like a tough
annoying.
gig.
Yeah, you wouldn't offer Dev Null any of your drugs if you had them.
No.
True.
Give me some magnesium now.
You'd be like, you're not hanging out with us.
I will do. I think I'm going to do some Valheim too. I think it's just, it's a very easy thing for me to do is when I'm doing this anyway, turn on the camera and chat with people. The coding has been a lot of fun. Been really, really rewarding for me. I really enjoy it. Yeah. Also here, Paris Martineau. By the way, that's my kind of crafting. Paris, do you have a craft that you do besides pruning trees?
Not right now. I'm kind of craftless. I've been doing some painting.
Oh, that's neat.
Kind of fun. Yeah.
You seem like a knitter.
I know I do, but I'm not. I wish I was. I would like to specifically be an embroiderer because I make a lot of very silly hats. And if I knew how to embroider, then I could cut out the middleman for making my gimmick hats.
What's your latest hat?
What is my latest
Did you wear
hat?
one to Thanksgiving?
One of the latest ones I got a strange joke embroidered on a baby onesie for my friend who's having.
I'm glad you finished that.
I'm thinking brain rot on a hat would actually be pretty good.
Brain rot would be good.
Brain rot on a hat would be kind of good. Yeah.
I think also gum and mints would be good.
Gum and mints. He actually
very
would be good.
demure, very mindful.
See, this is the thing is once you start thinking of things that would be good hat ideas, you just have too many good hat ideas.
Yeah, you're right. We do need to learn to embroider. We can all work on it while we're podcasting.
Yeah.
This is This Week in Google.
This Week in Gum and Mints.
Gum and mints. That could be Twig'em. Somebody said you can't have Twid. It's already reserved for This Week in Donuts.
Oh.
That's right, Keith.
Donuts.
Donuts. So, big shock earlier this week when Intel's CEO, I'm going to put this in air quotes, retired. Pat Gelsinger, who'd been hired just a few years ago to turn the ailing chip maker around, announced that he was retiring effective immediately. In other words, the board fired him early Monday. The board brought him in to try to save the company. Pat Gelsinger's plan with Intel was to kind of focus on two different businesses. Instead of being an integrated chip maker that both designed and built its chips, separate out the design and foundry business, build chips for other people. He said at one point, we want to build Apple's chips. We want to build everybody's chips. Intel did, in fact, get almost $8 billion in funding from the CHIPS Act to build those fabs in the United States. But their stock has been very weak over the past year. Their profits have been down. And just a few months ago, they were delisted from the Dow, replaced by NVIDIA. And that's one of those kinds of things the board doesn't like at all. So Gelsinger is out, clearly fired because they didn't have an immediate replacement. There was nobody groomed to take over. Really sad to see this dominant, what was in my time, in my day, a dominant chip maker on its back foot.
How long do you think the company has recognized that it was on its back foot? Do you think it was caught off guard by its own? You think it knew the writing was on the wall?
I think it's the innovator's dilemma where you're so successful in a certain area, it's very hard for you to start over. They realized early on that mobile processors, low power, low heat mobile processors were the future. They created something called X-Scale. Didn't take off as an ARM-based mobile processor. Didn't take off. They've been so successful with their x86 chips that it's been hard for them to turn the corner. In fact, it was interesting. There was the autobiography of the guy who founded TSMC, the Taiwanese chipmaker who's been eating Intel's lunch, came out a couple of days ago. And in it, one of the things he said is, I met with Tim Cook as early as 2011. Apple came to TSMC and said, can we help you develop chips for our phones and our computers? So as early as 2011, 13 years ago, Apple said, the writing's on the wall. Intel's not going to deliver what we need to move forward. We're going to have to do it ourselves. They started the conversation with TSMC. And kind of in some ways a self-fulfilling prophecy because they also poured so much money into TSMC to develop new technologies like EUV to develop these chips. They in effect gave them a head start. They kind of pushed them forward. And Intel, as a result, has really suffered. It's a sad end to a company that, for many, many years was synonymous with computing.
Is it still in the computer builder space? I mean, do you have anyone else you can turn to?
Yeah, there's AMD, but AMD is, also x86, and it's a fraction of the size of Intel.
Yeah.
The thing, I think, the writing on the wall with Apple's success with its M series chips, and now Microsoft really pushing its Qualcomm chips, its ARM-based chips. In fact, I don't know if you've seen the ads in this past week. Microsoft's pushing their Copilot Plus PCs based on Snapdragon, not Intel, saying they're the smartest, fastest computers they've ever made. It's a real kind of kick in the pants to Intel. Gelsinger said, leading Intel has been the honor of my lifetime. This group of people is among the best and the brightest in the business. I'm honored to call each and every one a colleague. And now I'm going to take my little cardboard box and go home. He's 63. It's a little early to retire, but I bet you he's a little relieved.
I'm sure he's getting a golden parachute.
Probably. He certainly made some money. But it really is kind of he's like, we were talking about this on Windows Weekly. It's like when Yahoo brought in Marissa Mayer to save the company. There's a point beyond which you can't save a company, right? Nobody's magical enough to turn a company around. And I think it's not Pat Gelsinger's fault. He's been in Intel forever. He studied under Andy Grove, Intel's legendary CEO. He was a chip engineer himself, so he knew the technology. He just could not make it work. So, yeah, Lava Being says in our Discord, me and my boatload of money are going to take some time to plan our future. We always say, spend more time with our family.
Right.
It's got to be, a little bit of a relief when things like that happen. It's just, I've been pushing and pushing, and we're just not making any progress. It's getting worse and worse. And you go into the meeting and they say, Pat, we appreciate everything you've done, but this is your last day here. We're going to put out a press release that you're retiring. It's got to be at first like,
there's a part you're like, oh, thank goodness. I no longer feel like Atlas.
Yeah. I think that's not unusual when you get fired to have that. It depends on how it's been going. If it's completely out of the blue, no. But for a lot of people, I think it's like, free at last, right? I can now do what I want.
A lot of people who have the financial security of a CEO, certainly.
That's true. That's true. Have you ever been fired, Paris?
Nope.
Never.
I've been laid off twice, though.
Well, yeah, that is very different, right? If you're laid off with other people because of financial downturns. And in your business, that's not unusual. Yeah. Sad to say. Micah, have you ever been fired?
No, laid off, though, once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fired once, at least once. I worked when I was a young guy. In my 20s, I worked at a record store. And I came into the record store, and the guy said, "Don't take off your jacket."
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
So you didn't get to work one day?
He said, well, I didn't get to work that day. I'd been working there.
Oh, you had been working. Okay.
I had been working there.
What did you do?
I said, and he fired all, this is a little, I don't know, you couldn't do this in this day and age. He fired all the male employees and hired attractive young women to replace them in the record store.
Boy.
So I didn't feel like, I didn't take it too personally. That was
in college. I had a really wealthy roommate, like one of those people who would just at the end of every semester would like buy a whole new wardrobe rather than carrying it to and from her parents' house. But she told me one day, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to get my first job. I'm going to work at Boba Guys, the hot new like pop-up boba shop." A boba tea place. And I was like, "Good for you, man." She goes in for her first day, comes back a few hours later. I'm like, "How was it?" And she was like, "Oh, I was there for like an hour or two, and they told me they just don't need me anymore, that they have enough." And I was like, "Oh, you got fired for being so bad in your first hour." I never figured out exactly what she did.
What are these things at the bottom of the tea? Do I leave those in or take those out?
And I was like, that's classic. I've never had a job before behavior.
Oh. That is incredible. You almost think there should be awards for things like that.
Yeah.
Shortest, that's less than a Scaramucci.
Yeah, it is less than a Scaramucci.
That's darn fast. We also talked on Windows Weekly today about this was an interesting, weird story. And, I didn't talk about it on Sunday on Twitter because I felt a little strange about it. The AP, Bloomberg, the New York Times, and others reported that the FTC had opened an antitrust investigation against Microsoft. Of course, Microsoft was famously sued in the late 90s by the Department of Justice, which effectively won that suit. Went on for years. And I thought, this should be a big story, except that the FTC and Mike would not confirm it.
That's weird.
Oh.
And usually, correct me if I'm wrong, a government agency that gets caught out, a non-clandestine government agency that gets caught out doing a thing, they admit it if they're asked directly in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
Usually,
they're not required to say when a company's under investigation.
Okay.
Microsoft declined to comment.
Oh.
The FTC declined to comment. This is the AP story. I mean, a lot of people ran with it. I didn't, because first of all, it's an investigation, not a lawsuit. They didn't actually take action, and it was a report that there was an investigation. But given that the FTC would refuse to confirm it,
I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah. Here's the AP story: FTC opens Microsoft antitrust investigation.
Maybe because it's we're in the middle of changing of the guard, so
that's what I think.
It's going to be that way down the line.
That's what I think. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know what it means. I mean, it's got to be the case because there were so many different sources reporting it. But I just I feel like that's not a story until it's a story.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, here's some good news.
Trust us.
Here's some good news. Did you know that it's legal for data brokers to sell your social security number? Did you know that that's legal? That if they can get it, they can sell it? So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is thinking of maybe banning them from selling your social security number.
Maybe that would be a consumer protection.
I should point out that the CFPB, which was started by Elizabeth Warren, is one of the agencies Elon Musk has announced is going to delete, because we don't want to protect consumers. We don't want to do that. So they're proposing a rule. This stunned me. Limiting data brokers' ability to sell Americans sensitive personal and financial information, their income, their credit history, their credit score, their debt payments, or social security. And if they did sell that information, they'd be required to comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which of course they don't want to do. They'd be treated like, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They'd be a credit bureau instead of a data broker.
I was always so in newsrooms I've worked at over the last decade. I have always usually had access to a service called LexisNexis,
right,
which is often used by legal professionals. And one thing I always found wild about that is you could look up anybody's name and get like the last four of their social. Obviously, it's not the other numbers, but I was like, how can I obtain this about anybody's name that I put in here? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And yet it's legal, and it's been legal to sell the entire social security number. And meanwhile, Congress is saying, well, we got to ban TikTok because they could be spying on us. But all the Chinese have to do is go to National Public Data or one of the other data brokers and say, hey, I'd like some information on Paris Martineau, and they'll sell it to them for not much, by the way. It's cheap.
Well, I assume part of the reason why something like this hasn't passed before is because there's been a lot of reporting showing that police departments all around the U.S. use this.
Yeah. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the FBI both rely on data brokers, and they do it because they can get around surveillance restrictions, laws preventing them from surveilling people. Oh, we don't have to surveil them. We'll just buy it. We'll just buy it. Anyway, this is, of course, one of those. I think you're seeing all this stuff. You're going to see it for the next couple of months, and then there'll be an inauguration. And then I don't know what's going to happen after in the new administration. It may well be that Elon Musk gets his way and the CFPB gets deleted. There are a lot of people who would like to delete it. Actually, I think Trump has just nominated for the SEC a pro-crypto.
Yes, a crypto bro, yeah.
Bro. Let me just look up this name because I just saw that as we were starting the show. Paul Atkins. thought that he would be much more pro crypto than the current SEC chair, Gary Gensler. Trump announced that this morning. Atkins was an SEC commissioner under Bush, George W. Bush. So he's not a crypto bro. He has worked in the SEC during Republican and Democratic administrations, but he has, according to the New York Times, been seen as a strong advocate for looser regulation of crypto assets. Shortly after his term as an SEC commissioner ended in 2008, he founded a financial services consulting firm that provides advisory services to banks and investment firms. More recently, the firm has advised clients on issues related to crypto and digital assets. So he's, I think, widely believed to be pro-crypto.
Standwithcrypto.org, a group that's been tracking crypto electoral victories, has it that 278 pro-crypto candidates have been elected to the House of Representatives and 20 to the Senate.
Yes. So this is going to be a good year for crypto. In his post, Mr. Trump said, Paul is a proven leader for common sense regulations. He recognizes that digital assets and other innovations are crucial to making America greater than ever before. Oh, that's a new MAGTEB,
so like
MagTeb.
The hawk coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the hawk coin. The crypto industry spent tens of millions of dollars during this year's presidential campaign to promote softer regulation. Biden was seen as cracking down on crypto. Gensler especially was seen as an enemy of crypto because he advocated for regulating it like a security. And they didn't want that.
God forbid.
Paul, a former colleague, says Paul will embrace technological innovation, especially crypto and digital finance, after years of SEC hostility and regulation by enforcement. All right, well, we'll see what that means. Should you go out and buy more Bitcoin? Yeah, I'm not going to make any recommendations.
I do wonder I wonder what that does mean, because hawk coin can exist right now. So it's not as if I don't know. It already seems very free. Like the market seems real open and available for anybody to plunder. So the idea that, we're putting someone in charge who is going to somehow make it even more open, it seems pretty open right now.
What are you talking about, Mike? A hawk coin is secure and highly regulated securities project.
Really? Does it say that in the prospectus? No.
You're just playing the lawyer for Tuah gal.
It is demure and mindful, though. I can guarantee
that is true.
Yeah. Canada's going after Google. Canada's antitrust watchdog, this just in, is suing Google, alleging anti-competitive conduct, in particular in advertising, which is the same thing that Google's been in trouble for here in the States. In fact, they lost that court case in the States. Canada's Competition Bureau suing Alphabet, saying, asking Google to sell 2 of its ad tech tools. It's also seeking a penalty from Google to promote compliance with Canada's competition laws. One more country that Google's in trouble in.
Piling on.
Monday, the closing arguments in the U.S. case were made. The judge, I think, has a few months now to decide how to penalize Google. Remember that the government wants them to sell Chrome, among other things. Earlier this year, Google offered to sell its ad exchange, to end an EU antitrust investigation, but European publishers rejected the proposal as insufficient. Boy, it's starting to heat up.
Yeah, it really is. I think, especially now, we're seeing these different countries all hop on board.
Boy, they're just,
These big tech companies have to be sweating a little bit.
Well, you could say, oh, well, once Trump is in office in a month and a half, things will be a little bit better for Google. Remember that President-elect Trump said he liked Google now because they're scaring the Chinese. But it's not just the U.S. You got the EU, and you've already got a court case you lost. It's
Yeah, there's precedent now.
There's precedent. One more FTC story. They have changed. Oh, this is wild. They've changed their telemarketing rules to go after tech support scam calls. Now, here's the thing. They've always been able to go after you after a tech support scam call if they call you. If they call you and say, "Hey, your computer is running. Is your computer running? We'll go catch it." They can go after them. But that's why most of the scams now involve getting you to call them. They put a pop-up on your Windows machine that says, "You've got a virus, call this number." And I didn't know this, but the regulations say if you call them, the FTC can't go after them. The FTC could already go after them if they called you, but not if you called them. They're going to change that rule.
That's good.
Yeah.
What they're doing is finding some other way to reach out to get you to call that number. And so up to that point, they were kind of using that little gray area there, that loophole where, well, it's your fault because you called them. No, that's not going to be the case.
The loophole was put there by the Supreme Court, which ruled in a 2021 case called AMG Capital Management versus the FTC. They ruled that they limited the FTC's ability to go after scammers if you called them. So the FTC had to rewrite rules because they weren't able to go after outbound calls. Now the TSR, that's the name of the rule, the telemarketing sales rule. The TSR has been changed to remove technical support services from a list of services that are exempt. Great. The FTC says older consumers over the age of 60, why, that's just a spring chicken. Those are youngsters. We're 5 times more likely to be victims of these scams. $175 million in losses this year. This year, the big one was the fake Geek Squad call. Did you ever get a text from the Geek Squad?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I get a lot of them saying, "Hey, this is a Geek Squad. Call us." Well, now you know why they want you to call them. Fake Geek Squad calls topped the list of fraud in 2024, $15 million in losses.
How many people are using Geek Squad in 2024?
You'd be surprised. If you want a nice, feel-good, maybe make you tear up a little bit movie that involves some of this, I'm telling you, go to Hulu and watch Thelma. You can also buy the movie or rent the movie, but it's called Thelma.
Is this after she and Louise drove off the cliff? It's her story
No,
continued?
it's not.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's about the basic plot is 93-year-old grandmother loses some money to one of these con artists and then decides to try to get it back. And it is delightful and sweet.
We do not recommend that, by the way. Do not.
No.
Do not.
But watch the movie. We do recommend that.
Yeah.
Thelma,
good. I will. Does it have a happy ending?
It does. I don't want to. I will spoil it for the sake of that because
it's fiction. I could see people, because most of the time there is not a happy ending.
Right, and in this case there is, and it's a delight.
Scooter X says, "I'm helping an older customer right now who lost about $6,000 in one of those scam pop-ups. She's not been able to recover her Apple ID either because the recovery number and email were changed, and Apple says we can't help you. They can help the other people, but they can help the bad guys. I guess they can't help you. That's too bad.
It's really frustrating, and there's no good answer for how to correct things after the fact, other than trying to use one of these, huge agencies, and so often they're not available to help out with that.
They're not going to help you. Yeah. You're really at a lot. I know so many people, not so many, but I know a number of people who've been bit by these and lost thousands of dollars. And it's just, it's understandable. Mm-hmm. There was a story on TV in our local news, woman up the road a piece. I don't know how it made it to the local news, but she was scammed by somebody who called claiming to be her grandson, saying he was in jail and he needed bail money.
That's literally what the Thelma plot is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, this happens a lot because, and this, by the way, this goes back to the data brokers because they get this information, from a variety of places. They learn who her grandson is, what his name is, and then enough facts that they can convince her that, I'm calling from jail, Grandma, I got arrested. If you could just wire me $6,000 for bail, I'll pay you back. She did, by the way. Lost the money. And all you could do is go to the police and say, hey, it happened to me. And there's not much they can do about it. Yeah, they're not going to get your money back. What a world. What a world. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching This Week in Google. So glad we get Micah Sargent in for the day. We appreciate you taking some time out. I don't like to ask Micah too much because he has a full-time job, But every once in a while we do.
But when I can, I do enjoy joining you all.
Really appreciate it. Paris Martineau has a full-time job too, but it's not doing podcasts.
True.
Yes. Do you do any other podcasts?
No, I do not. This is my one and only.
You want to do the Baldur's Gate 3 podcast, though. I know you want to do that.
I mean, that would be a vodcast, but yeah, I guess this is a podcast as well. But that would be a vodcast.
Vodcast.
Is that what the kids call it?
That's brain rot.
No, I'm going to do a VOD. Let's do a VOD.
A video podcast.
A VOD. I want to. Well, people call them pods, right? I hate that.
Yeah, they do.
By the way.
No.
What?
Not
really?
pod.
It bothers me. I don't know why pod bothers me.
Don't like pod. It seems wrong.
I'm not.
It's a podcast.
I had
the pod is being cast.
I had Paris and Mike on the pod today. It was great.
Okay, I do say that sometimes, but I'm usually being kind of facetious. Like on the pod today, specifically on the pod today. That
on
is
the pod
one,
today.
Yeah, that's the one use I will use it.
Hey, we do thank. You may notice the ads on this show. If you're hearing ads, are inserted, which can be painful. But that's because we were unable to sell any ads on the show for this episode. And it's really not a reflection on this show. I hope it's not a reflection on our network. It's really what's going on in the podcast industry these days. There are the big hits. They're the Call Her Daddies and the Joe Rogans. But the long tail, there are far fewer advertising dollars than there ever have been. And we've been in this business 20 years. We've been able to see it come and go. It's why we started the club a few years ago. And boy, it's been a success. We really love our Club Twit members, 12,000 strong. That's a good group of very smart, interesting people who like Twit enough to pony up $7 a month. There are benefits. You don't get those inserted ads. You don't get any ads if you pay. Ad-free versions of all of our shows. You also get, of course, the special stuff like we were talking about, Micah's Crafting Corner. And we have the coffee show, the photo show, photography show. I've been doing the coding, the late night coding live streams. Stacy's book club's coming up in a couple of weeks. That's the new James S.A. Corey novel. I'm reading. It's quite good. Very interesting. So many good things go on in the club. We want to make it fun for everybody. And of course, there's the Club Twit Discord where you can hang out any time of the day or night. There's always somebody in there. There's something going on, talking about all kinds of things, including, of course, our shows. If you're interested, find out more at twit.tv/clubtwit. There's a 2-week free trial if you want to see what it's like before you sign up. There's also a referral code. Everybody who signs up gets a referral code they can post on their socials or wherever they, with their church newsletter or whatever. Get other people to join the club, and everybody who joins using your referral code gets you a free month. I think that's a pretty good deal. Help us keep doing the job we do. I think it's really important. I really, I love the job we do. I want to keep doing it, and we think that we give you value for money. So if you think $7 is worth it, please go to twit.tv/clubtwit and join the club. And we thank you so much. Streaming, thanks to club members, streaming on 8 different platforms, including Discord, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, X.com, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It is a bonanza. Twit.tv/clubtwit. You're watching This Week in Google. Meta some years ago, I don't remember, they wanted to start something called internet.org, which was basically their own internet, which they would provide at low cost to developing nations that would feature a few public internet things, mostly Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Wikipedia thrown in. I know India turned it down a few years ago, saying we already know what colonization is like, and thanks, but no thanks. Well, now Meta's got a plan. This is from TechCrunch to build a round-the-world subsea cable. A cable that will carry a 40,000-kilometer cable, could cost as much as $10 billion.
Critically, Meta will be the sole owner and user of this cable.
It is literally the Meta Internet. Starts in Virginia Beach, goes to Cape Town, Durban, Mumbai, Chennai. India is very important. Darwin, in Australia, then Eureka, California. They call it the W cable. Can you see why? It looks kind of like a W.
I see that. Sort of. It means wow.
I was going to when you first started reading this article. I was like, oh, I'm always amazed and in awe by undersea cables carrying the internet. But I don't know. This doesn't interest me that
because
much.
It isn't the internet.
It's just Meta.
It's just Meta.
It's kind of a bummer.
According to TechCrunch,
carrying features they've copied from other apps.
Right. According to Ingrid Lundgren of TechCrunch, she's writing about it. The reason they want to do this, there's two reasons. The first reason is, let me see here. Sole ownership of the route and cable will give Meta first dibs in capacity to support traffic on its own properties. And don't forget, it's not just Meta and Instagram, because eventually the metaverse will ride on this, right? That this is
all those legs.
Yeah, if you're building a 3D virtual society, you're going to have to need a lot of bandwidth to make it work. But that's only one reason. The other is geopolitical. Several times in recent years, subsea cables have been taken down as a collateral or direct damage from warfare.
Okay, so then yours will just be another one of them that can be taken down? That's kind of silly.
They're saying, that's why it's a W. Nation. They are trying to avoid areas of geopolitical tension.
I see.
They're avoiding the Red Sea, the South China Sea, Egypt, Marseille, the Strait of Malacca, and Singapore. Okay, that's why it's a W.
I guess Llama AI said, these are the places where you should put it to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. It's just... it's amazing they have that kind of world conquering. He's kind of an Alexander the Great for the digital world, isn't he?
Don't let him hear that. Come on.
It's a new T-shirt. He'll have a new T-shirt. India is actually the biggest market for Facebook. 375 million users, 363 million Instagram users, 536, more than 500 million users of WhatsApp.
I forget about WhatsApp. So I know that's weird to say, but I do.
It's part of their portfolio.
I do forget about WhatsApp, and that's definitely our American-centric
we're very
approach
US very centric.
Yeah.
But that actually makes more sense when it comes to having this undersea cable more than anything else, in my opinion. Given that, and not that it's any better, but the fact that there's such a huge swath of the world elsewhere that is using it as a communications platform, that is kind of good.
And their primary communications platform.
Yeah, that there's going to be one that will hopefully not be disturbed by wartime nonsense, in theory. And that way I kind of see the good of this, even though it's got, the underlying tang of Zuckerberg.
And of course, this was all done before this recent cable cutting. 2 internet cables cut in the Baltic, and they think by a Chinese flagged ship that had just left Russia and dragged its anchor for 100 miles intentionally, perhaps?
Question mark? Yeah.
Intentionally to cut those 2 cables from Lithuania to the rest of the world. It seems like the kind of thing Russia might want to do. So I understand, really what Meta's building is a direct safe cable to India.
Yeah.
Avoiding the Middle East, avoiding any danger areas. Wow.
I wonder if that could mean, though, in places where the internet is far more, censored, that having Meta be in charge, assuming that it chooses to take a lighter hand, if that could be a positive thing as well. Hard to say for sure, but that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And potentially positive in that way.
This is kind of an ironic story. U.S. intelligence officials are urging Americans to use encrypted apps. You know, you ought to start using Signal or WhatsApp, says the FBI and CISA. And this is because Chinese hackers are in our phone system. We've talked about Salt Typhoon. And they say, until we can secure the phone system, why don't you use those encrypted apps we've been trying so hard to break over the last 20 years? Oh, now you want encryption, huh?
Well, or it's just I don't get this. This is the second time today. Whenever we're going against what you would expect from whatever organization, in this case, the officials saying this, is it because they're saying that is the only quick way for people to?
They're saying your telecommunications are not safe because Chinese hackers are sitting. They're not Chinese hackers. Let's face it. Chinese intelligence officers are sitting in our phone networks, monitoring whatever they want to monitor because it's not encrypted. Two officials in a call on Tuesday, a senior FBI official asked not to be named, and Jeff Green, who's Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity at CISA, both said use encrypted messaging apps. Our suggestion, what we have told folks internally, is not new here. Encryption is your friend. Wait a minute, what? Whether it's on text messaging or if you have the capacity to use encrypted voice communication, even if the adversary is able to intercept the data, if it's encrypted, it'll make it impossible. That's Jeff Green from CISA. The FBI person said, people looking to further protect their mobile device communications would benefit from considering using a cell phone that automatically receives timely operating system updates, responsibly managed encryption, and phishing resistant. They've changed their tune, huh?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's, this is actually how the NSA was, where there was half of the NSA was spending its time telling people how to stay secure using encryption. The other half was trying to figure out how to break encryption.
Or maybe they've got it so far into the future, they've got quantum computing working there that they don't care. They're like, encryption for everybody else because we're good. We can get in if we want to.
You're not far wrong there, young Micah, because remember the NSA built that giant data center in the Midwest. Their plan was, and I think it still is, to gather all electronic transmissions, knowing that many of them are encrypted, but also knowing down the road they might have the tools to decrypt it. So best just store it all.
Yeah.
Just hang out in the Midwest.
Lots of nation states apparently have held on to lots of encrypted data for this particular reason, that one day there may come a tool that can actually break it. And so when new, better encryption is made available, we're supposed to hop on it as quick as possible.
To that note, the president of Signal, Meredith Whitaker, had said this week the company is planning to support encrypted backups in 2025, which, I mean, for anybody who uses Signal, is a feature that people have been clamoring for a bit. So, I mean, that's one way to have your data stored in the big security cloud be at least encrypted.
Well, in fact, it's important because we know that WhatsApp, if you weren't paying attention, would back itself up unencrypted to Apple's cloud. And so Apple, we actually know that law enforcement has used that data by subpoenaing Apple. Even if you're using WhatsApp and the transmissions are encrypted, it's being backed up unencrypted to Apple's cloud. So that's why it's important that Signal says, no, our backups are going to be encrypted as well.
I wonder if that's part of the reason why Apple jumped so quickly onto having more of iCloud be encrypted. That was a major factor in them doing so, because they introduced that enhanced encryption for iCloud that would help with that situation.
Yeah. This is the Utah data center that was completed in 2014 at a pretty vast cost. I think it was $1.5 billion with huge capacity. NSA has always said, no, don't worry, we're not spying on you. But it has the capability of storing all electronic emails, cell phone calls, internet searches, personal data trails, parking receipts, travel itineraries, bookstore purchases. Some have said it will be used to illegally monitor email of U.S. citizens. NSA says, no, we're not allowed to do that. However, if a U.S.
We've
citizen...
never done anything we're not allowed to.
Never done that. If a U.S. citizen is communicating with a foreign national, then those communications can be saved. Anyway.
Huh. So if I'm talking to Rosemary Orchard, then...
That's right. She's a foreign national. Yeah. Who knows? She could be a terrorist cell.
Oh, don't say that.
No, she's not. I'm sorry. Did I say that? She's not.
This just got saved into the NSA's bank in Utah, or whoever's it is.
Yeah, right. Let's see. What else? Paris, you put some stories in. Let me see here. No one's talking about ChatGPT anymore. It's so boring. Is that true?
They're all talking about what instead?
Sherwood Williams did an analysis of monthly mentions of ChatGPT on earnings and conference transcripts, and it has gone quite a bit down. This is data from FactSec.
Huh.
I don't know. Interesting. I do feel like this is something I've noticed. It's been about 2 years since ChatGPT.
That's true. We spent the whole show talking about AI in the first few months, didn't we?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
And we're all like, in 1 to 2 years, it's going to be crazy. The world's going to be so different, and it's pretty much the same, except for you sometimes see people using ChatGPT out in the world.
Do we wonder if part of it is just it's going to reach sort of proprietary eponym stage where? Or I guess not that, because in that case that would work. But it's more standard. I used AI for this. I used AI for that, as opposed to going.
Right. That's the thing. We're not saying ChatGPT. We're just saying.
I suppose that's right. Yeah. It could be AI.
And soon we won't even say AI, which is well, I don't know. What
I generated this or something.
My little pal.
When I was on a flight back from Florida this weekend, there were 3 children in the row in front of me, and I was like, ugh. And they spent the entire flight crying and screaming. I realized halfway through that their father was sitting on the row across from them, but he was furiously typing something on his computer, and I looked over because I'm a nosy person, and he had ChatGPT open on his phone, an empty Word doc on his laptop, and was just currently typing whatever was on his phone.
He was
the entire flight.
it?
Yeah, and he got a good couple pages done by the end of the flight, but those kids were not happy about it.
It was some legal brief, I'm sure. Oh.
I'm sure. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but...
Doesn't he know about cut and paste? I mean,
I know. I was just like, come on, the guy.
The other thing. Come on, people.
He's typing
it seems like maybe at first he was trying to paraphrase, but then by the end he was clearly just like writing it right down.
And he's probably somebody who works for the FDA and is writing up about why they should use some new why magnesium supplements should never be regulated.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. How often do you think of the Roman Empire, Micah? Daily?
Well, I'm not Mark Zuckerberg, so very rarely. Although I do see those memes. My Roman Empire is this.
Yeah.
I still don't really understand what people mean.
I think about the Roman Empire a lot. I do.
There was a viral post of some sort that was like, ask the nearest man in your life how often they think of the Roman Empire, and the answer will surprise you. And so it was all these TikToks of people asking their boyfriends and husbands, like, do you think about the Roman Empire? Like, when's the last time you thought about the Roman Empire? And they were like, today. So now it's taken off of what is something you think about regularly is your Roman Empire.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of charming. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, that is charming.
And these are
thinking about the Roman Empire.
These are very evanescent. They come and go. They don't last. These little memes, they're kind of fun. Like demure and whatever. They're fun.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah, lots. Frequently.
I was going to say, you fit the bill of who would be thinking about the Roman Empire.
Maybe it's because I was in Rome last year. Maybe it's because I read a lot of books about the Roman Empire. But I find it fascinating. Maybe it's because I take a sauna every day. I don't know. There's something. Maybe it's my magnesium pills.
What do you do on your way to the forum?
Well, here's your chance to spend the night in the Colosseum.
Ooh.
How'd you like to be a gladiator for a night? Some Romans, according to the New York Times, are up in arms. Get it? Airbnb is planning a night in the Colosseum.
Wow.
A few people will have a chance to unleash their inner gladiators at the most visited site in Italy. 2 nights in May, a total of 32 people will learn the art of gladiator fighting inside the Colosseum, taught by Roman history buffs who specialize in historical reenactments.
Hang on, they're just buffs. They're not professionals.
They're not. No, they're
guys that really like Roman history. That's very.
They're the
funny.
ones who think about the Roman Empire all the time.
That's true.
Yeah. The aim, Airbnb says, was they donated $1.5 million to spruce up a permanent exhibit inside the arena. The inside of the Colosseum, I was there a year ago, is pretty ratty because Romans for centuries used the marble from the Colosseum to build their houses.
Lovely.
So it's all kind of crumbling down. Airbnb put that money in to support the Colosseum's ongoing conservation work to find new ways to inspire and educate visitors on the historical significance of this bygone era.
I want to do this. This is cool.
Well, you would not be a Massimiliano Smirillo, says a member of the Rome City Council responsible for culture, says, we are against transforming the Colosseum into a theme park for Micah. He said he would soon meet with Airbnb to try to get the company to change its mind.
I mean, part of this is all about Rome is one of the many cities that has had a deluge of short-term rentals pop up, displacing residents.
It's a real problem, exactly.
And so a lot of the anger from the average people is, oh, here's Airbnb, who's already made it impossible for me to afford to rent a place in the city where I work, putting on a show in a Colosseum for $1 million for a bunch of tourists.
Does it help, though, that they are also rehabbing the Colosseum itself, though?
They say that's a good thing, but it's greenwashing. It's not. It's just trying to get their corporate reputation. Apparently, they really don't like Airbnb in Rome. They passed a law last month. The Interior Ministry issued a regulation that requires guests be physically identified when they check in, somewhat like they are in a hotel. So that Airbnb lockbox that your landlord leaves outside, that does not comply. They have to personally check you in.
So basically, I think you have to be there,
minimum,
like a citizen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there has to be a person there checking you in, being like, "Here's your keys, Micah.
Right.
Welcome
Which
to Rome."
requires the person who owns the Airbnb to be local, as opposed to being able to be across the country and just making money in. That incentivizes having. Well, it doesn't incentivize. It requires having to actually be there and contribute to the economy, which I think is good.
Yeah, certainly.
The last time Romans were this upset was when Elon Musk challenged Mark Zuckerberg to a cage match in the Colosseum.
Why?
I would prefer the reenactors to Musk and Zuck mixing it up on the Colosseum
Well, Micah,
floor.
if you do want to live out your gladiator dreams, may I direct you to gladiators.nyc, which is the website of a New York City group. They describe themselves the oldest and most premier league, school, and team/club of armored combat in New York City. If you scroll towards the bottom of the page, you can see a video of people.
What we recommend, a 9-inch Burhart axe of high carbon steel.
Scroll down and it'll make a little bit more sense. Keep going. Or
don't bring that to your
up
next.
a little bit more.
I brought an axe to a gunfight. This one?
Go to one of the
Oh, here they are LARPing.
They're LARPing in Central Park.
Looks like a medieval fight club.
And it's a little bit more than LARP, right? Because those look sharp.
No,
those are real swords.
They're teaching people how to use swords.
Punch.
They do a whole thing. Yeah. It's complicated.
Oh, this looks intense.
It does seem kind of intense. They all make their own chainmail. They fight for,
It's
sport.
full contact MMA with steel weapons. I don't know if that's such a good idea. And don't do that on this floor of the Colosseum. Look at these weapons. You got your battle axe, your Viking axe, your carbon steel axe. You got your handmade sword. You got your carbon steel sword.
Just how many people died just regularly because they were all going at each other with swords and axes and stuff.
Not nice.
Like just so many people, so many humans wiped out from these.
Let's see what else we can
stabbed
get.
with a bayonet or something.
Yeah, just and like cavalry charges and stuff. All of that is just so brutal.
Well, now you can relive it in Central Park. Have you ever seen these guys?
No, but I follow them on Instagram and I've been wanting to go for a while. It's just annoying to get out to Central Park from where I am, but it seems really fun to watch. I don't know.
Yeah. Cheer. And then you could maybe get, you could pull out like the handkerchief and hang it on there.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. Their spear or whatever.
What do you mean? She's going to be in the suit. She's going to be.
I would like to be in the suit, ideally. Although I don't know.
So, I mean, they are wearing full armors.
You have to make kind of custom chainmail, basically.
Yeah, they're like, you can't buy chainmail if you want to be in
And you better know what you're doing. Look at this guy's got a huge axe. He's swinging at him.
Leo, don't objectify him. Come on.
Oh, it could be a woman? Is that what you're saying?
No. Oh. You said huge axe.
Let's see. What else? Anything else? I think we've covered a lot of the stories that are in here.
Scooter X's change log.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a Scooter X change? Oh, there is. Who put this in? Oh, John, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching. We're going to take a break. When we come back this week in Google, Micah Sargent, Paris Martineau, and coming up next, the Scooter X change log.
The Google change log.
Google Chat is rolling out audio huddles powered by Meet.
Oh, that's how every update Google makes sounds to me.
MEET. What's strange is I would have assumed that Google Chat's audio huddles were powered by a Google Meet, but I guess not. We do huddles. But they're Slack huddles. I don't know.
Oh, because it's a huddle.
It's a huddle.
Yeah, got it.
Which is basically a video call, right?
Yeah. But quick, apparently.
Yeah, you don't want huddles integrate directly.
But audio huddles are audio. They're not video.
Oh, yeah, not video. But you could turn on video if you wanted.
Nice. Wow, we've gone more into this than I really expected. I'm just going to suggest you not spend so much time because there are a lot of entries in Scooter X's
here we go.
Google change log. Google Maps app showing incident reports from Waze. Again, surprised that this hasn't been going on all along. Google acquired Waze 10 years ago. Now it's finally showing the Waze incident reports in Google Maps.
Huh.
This started in mid-September. That's the reason you do Waze, right? So that you can
you get
know what's going to happen. And there is a from Waze drivers attribution. So when you see, one of those little, here's a policeman, and are they still there question with a large yes or no button, the panel disappears automatically after you pass by it. Police reported ahead from Waze drivers. Are they still there? Yes or no? That's one of the reasons I love Waze. But I thought that was already in Google Maps. I guess.
Yes, not.
It's also happening on Android Auto. That's nice.
Oh, Leo, can I recommend you don't spend too much time on these because there are.
Yeah, Leo, keep it moving, please.
Gemini app rolling out make calls and send message without unlocking. Woohoo! It's about time.
Yeah.
Woo!
We all love this.
Google Wallet for Wear OS adding corporate badges, campus IDs, and more.
Now that is cool. I want Apple to do that in the Apple Wallet.
Oh, for like a lock, so you know where you're going.
Okay. So, and if you're on campus and you have access to the school's gymnasium through your ID, to be able to just tap your watch instead is a pretty cool thing. Plus, wouldn't it be cool if we still had a studio? I could use my Apple Watch to get in instead of, in this case, my Wear OS watch to get in instead of having to use the little RFID tag.
Even John Ashley is getting in on it. There, he's put the note, don't spend too long on these, Leo. Pixels 6 through 9 now let you check device temperature. How hot is it in there?
Nice.
There are 4 color-coded labels, cold, normal, warm, and elevated.
This is my problem with this. I get so many questions on Hands-On Tech about battery management and battery health, and this is just going to make people more anxious about their battery.
Oh my God, my phone is slightly warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, you feel like a fever? Please keep it moving.
If they had this for iPhones, my phone would just be stupidly hot anytime I charge it.
All the time.
I don't know what I do. It's just too warm.
You have a new iPhone or an older iPhone?
Newish iPhone, not
It
the
shouldn't
newest
be
one.
hot, right, Micah? Should it be
Listen,
hot?
I know it shouldn't be hot. It is, regardless.
Weird. I wonder if you've got like a weird charger. Are you using wireless charging or wired charging?
Wired.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's as cold as ice. Just doesn't have any temp. Google is now adding video generators to business customers.
Yes,
so
this is
I
big,
don't,
actually.
Is it VO? VEO.
They beat OpenAI to the table. OpenAI was supposed to come out with whatever it's called. The name escapes me at the moment.
Sora?
Sora first, and Google ended up coming out with their version first, with its version first, and then right after that, Sam Altman was like, "We're going to do the 12 days of
yes, 12 announcements."
Yeah, of announcements, exactly, and said Sora would probably be one of those. So yeah, Google got there first, which I thought is interesting. Only for businesses, though.
It's a limited release. The AI
big
model
impact, though. It really could.
Yeah, VO will generate short clips from images and prompts. It'll be available in private preview for customers using Vertex AI. The launch will enable one customer, Quora, to bring VO to its Poe chatbot platform, and another, Oreo owner Mondelez International, to create marketing content with its agency partners.
See, that's what I'm saying. Suddenly, they're not needing people to make marketing content anymore.
And we talked about it. I thought the Coca-Cola commercial, the Christmas commercial this year, is all AI.
Oh boy,
Have you seen it?
No.
Did we do it on this show, or did we do it on?
But people just aren't watching commercials regularly, Leo.
Yeah.
This happened last week. They were like, Paris, have you seen the new Coke commercial? You've seen it, right? And I was like, no. Why would I have seen the
I saw it in the football game the other day, and I thought it was good. It was beautiful. They got a pale polar bear and the whole thing. It was cute.
See, and you've described it perfectly. I don't need to see it.
I don't know why businesses would want the ability to generate short video clips in their...
Because they don't want to pay
someone to do it,
to make it.
And everybody needs to have short video clips because that's literally the internet is short video clips. You've got to have them.
Of your cat.
Of your cat climbing your shoulders.
Of my cat trying to show a hole.
I have to stay on this shot. It's a cat.
We might get Katena's.
We can't. She's really trying, but I can't let it happen.
Google, you know what I say to that? Tuah. Google's beefing up Android's app security, but not everybody's going to be happy, says Android Authority. Play integrity is getting a shot in the arm, but power users may end up butting heads with it. They must be talking to Gizmo.
They're mad because it's going to be more nanny state like Apple.
The apps will be able to make sure your phone is not rooted, for instance, or that you're not running a custom ROM, which a lot of Android users do. I do. I did. I don't do it anymore because I'm old. Google Photos is rolling out undo advice backup setting.
No, device backup, not advice. Undo advice.
Undo advice.
That's what I say to my therapist whenever
Please
I don't like
undo that advice. Undo device backup setting.
Why would you want to undo your device backup? Wouldn't you?
Okay.
Why would you not want it to back up?
Okay. So you know that when you open up when you have a Pixel, say, or even an iPhone, and you open up Google Photos, it backs up those photos. Maybe those photos don't belong in the cloud. So now you can say, don't delete them off my device, but please delete them off the cloud. Do not.
Got it.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. All right.
If you're somebody out there who needs that feature, let me know so I can
not send you any pictures.
I just am curious what that. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
If the
You know where I'm
cat's
going with
showing
that?
whole, you don't want it on Google Photos. I get it.
That's true.
Undo device backup and undo advice backup.
What do you?
Can we undo the advice of trying to hawk Tuah on that thing, please?
Yeah.
What do you think that tells us, though, about what people are doing with their camera phones? It seems to me that a large percentage of people have pictures on their camera phones they do not want their grandmother to see. Am I right?
Yes.
How common is that?
I am an exception as far as speaking to other people. I am an exception in that I do not have those things.
Same. I don't put anything on my phone that I wouldn't be comfortable with leaking online.
That's smart.
But I think it might be by the nature of the work that we do.
I'm paranoid.
Yeah. You think most normal people...
Paris, short for paranoid.
That is true, yeah.
I really want your nil coin is what I really want. The more I think about that, the more I like it.
Nothing.
The cryptocurrency that stands for nothing.
Yeah, it exists. You can just send the money right to my Venmo, and I'll get you some nil coin right now.
I'll send you some nil coin.
I'll mint some nil coin for you.
And that's the Google Changelog.
Brought to you by Scooter X.
That wasn't by. Thank you, Scooter X, for those fabulous suggestions.
We got through them. We were quick.
Yeah, thanks for not spending too long on those, Leo.
No, it was good. I moved along. I followed your advice. TikTok. Have you noticed on TikTok there are adverts? Every third TikTok now is trying to get me to buy. Well, for a while, it was that credit card device that records conversations and AI processes them, the Plod. Have you noticed that?
Your TikTok is definitely...
It's not normal?
Yeah, wait, what devices have you ordered from Instagram ads that you haven't gotten? You definitely haven't gotten the AR glasses that were supposed to come in April.
No.
Did you ever get that thing that's always listening? Yeah.
Never got the recording pin.
That's so sad. Oh, wow. Apparently it's not sad to Paris.
Here's an ad
it's just funny
on
because
TikTok.
this is like the 7th AI thing you bought that month.
For a bicycle wheel that doesn't roll.
I've always wanted one of those. It's called a stationary bike.
From Rock Bros. Okay, that's one. Let's see.
Well, no, those are TikTok shop things. So they are ostensibly posted by individual TikTok creators. They're not sponsored posts like ads, but they are things
but you see the shop,
creators
get.
They get an affiliate link, and if you click and buy them through TikTok shop.
What's that?
That's what you're supposed to ask. It is. Can you believe that a small fan has so much power? It's a powerful small fan.
What? What is that with the bicycle?
Now that was, and then one. I just went one more by, and then I have some sort of calendar thing, also a TikTok shop. Most of my TikToks are shops.
Well, do you pause on them? Have you bought anything on TikTok shop?
No. Oh, maybe.
Oh. So they're like, oh, we can get him.
So you don't see this? This is not your.
I'm looking right now.
Let me go through TikTok.
I've got a professional cheesemonger. I've got an ad for Oreos. I've got a veterinarian sketch about cats. I've got someone talking about birds.
This is a TikTok shop ad.
Ocean videos.
But that's what's interesting about these. These are like TikToks created by creators, but they're selling something on the TikTok shop.
So like it's Etsy, but for TikTok?
No, they don't. They're not creating them.
They're not.
They're a middleman, basically. Right?
Basically, they are hawking products, but getting an affiliate link.
Do we have
it's
to use
literally
that
just
word?
an affiliate. Oh yeah, hawk-doing products.
This is
sorry. We should
a membrane water filter. A lot of these things.
Why would I need this?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Wait, hold on. What's it called? Well, Leo's looking down, and he really does need to see
You really have to see it.
That's
is that a weight
nice.
belt or is that a unitard?
It is men's adjustable strap. Oh, it's shapewear. Okay.
It's a girdle for men.
It's a myrtle.
Anyway, the reason I bring this up is TikTok has been huge for Black Friday. It tripled its Black Friday sales in the TikTok shop. $100 million
in just the U.S.
on one day.
Wow.
So whatever they're doing is working. That's why I was surprised that you guys don't see all of those posts. But boy, I sure see a lot of them.
Well, I definitely need this tapestry.
Whoa.
It's Jesus
and the devil.
Basketball against the devil.
Oh, he's playing hoops.
Yeah, you got to get that.
It's one-on-one. Jesus one-on-one.
And it's only $7.19 to $17.99. Don't know which one.
If I do go on the TikTok shop, it's trying to show me a t-shirt of a weird photo of a cat that says Benadryl on it.
I like it.
I mean,
it goes with your hat.
It does kind of go with my hats. A bunch of supplements, a zine about sewing.
No, I've never done what you just did. You actually went to the TikTok shop. Those are in my regular feed. I was
going to say I've never opened the TikTok shop.
Yeah, that was my first time opening the shop.
Oh, it looks a lot like Alibaba or
in your standard feed.
Temu.
Yeah,
Just
you had to have bought
There's
something
a dress that would make you look like a Christmas tree. I don't know if you can.
Oh, I should own that.
You should. You could match Leo's tiny Christmas trees.
Yeah, that'd be a good holiday thing. All right. Well, anyway, it's a success now. A top court in Washington is expected to rule this week on the bill to divest or ban. There is also some speculation that Trump could step in and try to thwart a ban. This is from Bloomberg.
Oh, yeah. Remember that? The whole ban?
Yeah, they have till January 19th to find a buyer, or else they'll be banned in the U.S. That's still the law.
That's going on. That's happening.
While a third of the user purchases on Shop this is November 13th to December 2nd. I thought it was Black Friday. Were from small and medium-sized businesses. Household names like Crocs, Fenty Beauty, and Estee Lauder were among the top-selling brands.
Huh.
This was huge in China a few years ago. Remember, we would see these Chinese influencers trying to sell something on Douyin or whatever they were using. That's really fascinating. So
it is quite interesting.
This is for the 2 days between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. 7 billion views of posts that include the hashtags TikTok Shop Black Friday or TikTok Shop Cyber Monday.
I just don't know if I'd want to. I would feel concerned about my financial information being popped into TikTok. I don't want to.
More so than Facebook or Instagram?
I don't do
for
it
a lot of
Instagram either. Yeah.
For a lot of young people, TikTok's how they make money. Their bank account information is on there because they need to get their TikTok shop payments from selling you those goods or their creator fund payments.
Well, it's also one of the reasons I use Apple Card whenever I can, or the Apple Pay.
Yeah,
because they don't give any information over to the seller, although the seller does get your address, right? They have to ship it.
To ship it to you. In theory, they ship it to you.
All right. Yeah, they may ship it. I'm trying to remember. I think I did buy a life organizer, which I've never opened up off the TikTok
like
shop.
A human being.
Do you feel like your life is organized?
Let me show you.
Because he was already organized. There's life-organizer.com.
And we never saw him again.
Yeah, I'm so excited about
Leo
this
Laporte, everybody.
that I've never opened it. It's still sealed.
You can do an unboxing. Do you want to do the little tap noises?
Tap it with your nails.
Tap it with your nails.
It was pitched as
He doesn't know what we're talking about, Micah.
Oh, what did you say?
Tap it with your nails.
You're gonna do an ASMR unboxing.
There you go. That's part of the if you've ever watched a modern
there you go.
video.
Yeah, that's a big that is a big part of it.
I really like the fabric binding.
Is this the one that has like the documents for your when you die? And
yeah, I thought it was. That's how it was advertised.
You bought a holder for death documents on TikTok.
But it has them in there already, right? Or no?
It has nothing. It's just a
no,
binder.
Leo, it's just a binder. Oh no. Because on Instagram, I've seen this really cool ad for it's a box, and inside the box it has all of your past life documents.
That's what I thought I was buying.
And instead you bought a scrapbook.
Well, basically it's a binder with manila folders in it, and it comes with stickers.
Oh no.
So the stickers you put on the manila folder say things like bucket list, social security cards.
Oh, no.
Like, how many social security cards do I have? Do I need a whole folder for that? To file, travel, passports, holiday. This is a very low effort product.
This had to have been an Ambien purchase that you.
It had to be.
This is a magnificent purchase.
I saw the same ad.
Did you buy this before or after you got your death date from that AI thing?
Before. But at my age, you start to think about these things, and I thought,
you did
it'd be
see
good
what I saw on Instagram. Yeah.
I saw what you saw, but this is what it is.
That is not the thing that I would want.
It's very disappointing.
What does it say on the edge?
The folio. Not my life documents, not like open this when I kick.
Life and death.
I think I got
Mashed potato on the Discord chat said
it's called
the
knockbox.
faux Leo.
Yes, the
Oh!
Leo.
It's FAUXLEO.
Yes.
The knockbox is the one that I was talking about. And
Well, maybe I
For when you knock
confused
it?
those. I must have confused those. And then I can't remember if I got my my Instagram gum on Instagram or TikTok. I think it was maybe TikTok.
Is it gum or mints?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Wow, I love that the knockbox says, "Are you leaving a scavenger hunt for your next of kin?"
Yeah. It's
Well,
very,
that was
very
the
shady.
thinking was I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know,
and this always
do
happens.
something
Anytime
like
someone
that.
passes in your life and you are stuck
Oh,
with
this is much better. Maybe
Yeah, this is
maybe I
the
should get
thing
this
you want.
instead. It's $99.
Well, but it has like all of the documentation already in there. And so it has like these little workbooks that you can fill out. And so it's not just, I don't know why I'm trying to sell this to you. I just thought it was really cool because it has stuff like your pet stuff.
all
So
the
it's
stuff
a great way to-
all the stuff you need the next of kin to know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, but the box, is it just a plastic
No,
box?
that's the thing. It's different from that.
Is it fireproof?
Oh, I wish it was. I don't think
They
it
have
is.
a fireproof one for $169.
Here it is.
I think
fireproof.
you could just probably make all these files yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
if
yeah, you
knew.
can, but who's going to do it?
Oh, I did buy this though. The Prepared Hero fire blanket.
Wait,
I
you
could
should
throw
start
it.
a fire somewhere and use
I could
that.
throw
so
it over the. Oh, look! You can also just get the base kit.
Oh,
$499. Oh, that's a 5-pack.
oh, so you could give them out to people. That's
Yes.
nice for your family.
Oh, here's one. I need this in case you go missing.
Here's all the people I think did it.
The list contains things like height, eye color, identifiable body markings, where to find your dental records, etc.
Oh, wow.
You really have to be planning something if you think you might be going missing. Wow. All right.
I wonder
don't know
if they
if I'll
include
get
a little
that.
baggie for your hair. This little
Yeah,
clip. So that
little
you
DNA.
can search
there
the
you
DNA.
go.
Yeah. There you go. Patrick said after his pop died, he was able to figure out most of it, but he left behind a large tray full of keys, and they have no idea what any of the keys do.
Oh, no.
You should just keep trying different doors
There's a puzzle somewhere.
in your
Yeah.
life.
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, your picks of the week. We're going to wrap this thing up. You're watching This Week in Google with Paris Martineau, Micah Sargent filling in for the wonderful Jeff Jarvis, who will be back next week. So glad, though, to get Micah on. It's great to have another young person on with you, isn't it? Yeah.
It is
be
good.
All right. Pick of the week time. I'm going to let Micah start this one because he's our guest today.
All right, I've got something goofy that I love. I came across it in a link in a Verge article to another Verge article from a long time ago, and it is a
Wait a minute. Don't tell us. It's a bar of soap.
Yes, it's a bar of soap. No, it is the case for a magic mouse. And here's what's great about
Oh,
this.
my God. Does it have a charging port?
It has a wireless charging spot on the bottom. So I thwack this onto a wireless charger, and it has a little thunderbolt, or excuse me, a
brilliant.
lightning connector into the mouse. And it also makes the mouse more ergonomic. So the mouse is easier to grip because it's bigger, and it has, wireless charging built in. So when I leave my desk, I just put this onto a wireless charging puck,
Brilliant.
and it charges it. And so it always stays charged. Also, it's just $25. And the other thing that I love about this is from time to time, my Magic Mouse, when it was just on its own, occasionally it'd brush up against something on the desk and get it into the little, optics spot. And it would be sometimes difficult to find it and pull out the little fiber or whatever was in there. Because this kind of pulls the optics away from the from the base, I have not had that issue once since I've gotten this. And it also comes with a little prism that's built in there to help like send it along to where it needs to go. Yeah, this thing is really cool. And
you know what I thought it was, though? I was hoping it was, you know how the Apple mouse has the charging port on the bottom? Mm-hmm. And I was hoping it was some sort of thing that you could use the mouse and have the charge come in from the side.
It's from the side or from the back.
If you keep it charged, it solves that
problem.
I suppose
if you really needed that, you could just get a different mouse, right?
Oh, wow.
That's too logical. You're saying something
no,
too logical.
Yeah. You got to get something for to cradle your... I mean, I'm saying this with my...
It's a good point.
Apple Magic keyboard and Magic trackpad put in a custom acrylic thing to mimic the feeling of holding my laptop while I'm using it in desktop.
What in the world?
That is weird.
Who made
You put that in your lap?
Someone I use it on my desk, honestly. I use it on the desk like I would a normal desktop.
Oh yeah, like
but I don't like the two sliding around, and I'm used to the trackpad being the same distance from the keyboard as it normally is, and otherwise I'll hit it with my
That's
hands.
quite clever.
What is it? How's it on there? Suction?
It's just I just hit my. It's just a.
Oh, it goes down in. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just falls.
So somebody
in.
made that, or can you buy it?
I got it on like Etsy or Amazon or something. It was just some person in China made a little acrylic keyboard tray holder. I've definitely mentioned it on the show.
Have you? I wasn't here. I don't remember that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a Magic keyboard acrylic tray. I think you could search and it would come up. So cool. I get you.
Yeah.
My pick of the week is as I was doing my Thanksgiving shopping at the grocery store, I came up to the checkout aisle and I saw the same scene I see every time that infuriates me, which is all of these magazines, but they're not normal magazines. They're like weird special editions, like Taylor Swift or the Magazine of Cats or a Lifetime issue just dedicated to Lord of the Rings. And I always am sitting there waiting to check out. I'm like, what happened? I mean, I know that magazines don't work anymore as a business, but how are these racks suddenly filled with single issue magazines? And why is it so popular? So I ended up posting about this on Bluesky, asking, has anybody written about how magazines have been entirely replaced with these single themed issues? Got quite a few responses, which are interesting. Eventually, a couple days later, someone responded with a link to this podcast by Slate's Decoder Ring, a podcast I really love, about this very topic. And I listened and it was the perfect answer to all of my questions. And it was also a delightful answer. I won't spoil the answer for you, but there's a whole industry that has fueled this shift. And it's just they tackle it in such an interesting way. And I'd really recommend the podcast episode about anybody who's interested in learning about this.
My recommendation is a little bookazine called Leo Laporte's Gadget, Gear, and Gift Guide 2005. It's a retro look back at the right holiday gifts for you. And, because it's a bookazine, it's cheap. I don't know how much it was.
Well, bookazines are actually kind of expensive, but I'd like you to open to a random page and then give us the recommendation on there.
Yeah, what's on that page?
There's the Magellan Spar Trek Color. These are handheld GPS devices. Back in 2005, no one knew how to drive, and your car wasn't driving yet, so you had to have one of these. Or what about digital voice recorders, like the Olympus DM1? Well, all you have to do is look at the back cover of this bookazine. Yeah, you use one.
I have a digital voice recorder.
That's the great-great-great-grandson. Look, here's the plexiglass keyboard and mouse holder.
Oh, I love that little Leo. Can you do that again?
The little Leo?
There's just you going like, huh.
We took a lot of pictures. This is part of the Leoville Press bookazine line.
Wow.
There were a lot of these. Every year.
Did you write all of that, or did you have a ghostwriter?
I'm sure I had a ghostwriter. I don't know. I might have picked here's a good one. The Palm One Zaire 72.
Leo's pick.
Yeah, even though your Mac can connect to a Pocket PC device, that doesn't quite make a Pocket PC device the best device for your Pocket PC. How about the Sidewinder emergency charger?
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody's got to have that. So this is so old. This is almost 20 years old. Look at this. Exclusively on G4 Tech TV Canada. Call for help.
Oh, my goodness.
Become a master of technology with Amber MacArthur and Andy Walker. Look at that.
I bet those co-hosts wouldn't have teamed up on you in a game of whatever that marathon.
No, they were terrified of me, actually. So that's it. You know, these have been around for a long time. That's 20 years old. That's 2005. It means it was out probably for 2004. But I don't look a day older, do I?
Not a day.
Look at that. Don't I look just... it's like I'm saying, oh, you guys, you did it again.
Come over here and learn about tech.
You silly gooses.
You silly gooses. All right, my pick of the week is something I've been saving for a day like
Special
today.
occasion.
It is a web page with many calculators on it. It's called Calculator Soup at Calculators.
I love Calculator Soup.
Oh, you know Calculator Soup.
I use Calculator Soup whenever I need to figure out percentage change, which is often. It's very embarrassing to admit, but I don't want to do that math. I know how to do it. I don't want to do it. And so I will always load up Calculator Soup's percentage change.
I can't believe it. We're both Calculator Soup users. Look at all the calculators.
So many calculators.
So many calculators. It's free to use, and it's I should give credit to the author, Edward Fury, his Calculator Soup online calculators at calculatorsoup.com.
Ideal gas law calculator.
Yeah. Oh, it's all in here, baby. A Yu-Gi-Oh calculator. If you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, you need that. It's just kind of mind-boggling. This guy at some point just sat down and said, I'm going to start writing calculators. And he's come up with literally dozens. Which one do you use it for?
I use it for percent increase, percent difference, and percent change, like any of those. If I just need to do a quick thing.
How about a dot product calculator? I'm
going to be honest, I don't even know what that means.
I know you don't have to because it does.
That's true.
The displacement of function as an average. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I could just be on this.
I didn't realize this website had so many other calculators on it.
You just always go right to the one you want.
It comes up in my browser all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's really funny. Yeah, it starts with a basic calculator.
It's the best one. I've tried a lot. It's just got exactly what you need. And it's got a good UI, few ads. It's nice.
Tank volume calculator using different types of tanks like horizontal cylinders.
See? You know, where else are you going to go to find that out?
Yeah, when I'm trying to make a custom fish tank, where else do I go to learn the volume of a vertical capsule?
There is a competition. Out of Sync says he uses omnicalculator.com. Oh, sure, it's got a little more color on the page, and it does have hundreds
it's got
of
animations.
Ooh, I don't know. I like Calculator Soup myself, but I'm a soup guy, so there you go.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Soup for you.
Soup for all. Thank you, Micah Sargent, for filling in for Jeff Jarvis. If people want to see Jeff's talk, he's on in an hour. I think it's about 5 o'clock, right? So it's half an hour. At the Commonwealth Club. Let me go to the website and I'll tell you. Commonwealth Club of San Francisco. He is a guest speaker. Oops, I'm in Discord to do that. There it is. CommonwealthClub.org. And just ignore all the other sexier events like Craig Mundy interviewing Sam Altman and go straight to Jeff Jarvis, How We Reclaim the Internet. Yeah, 5:30. So you got 1 hour, but he's doing it online. So you can get some online only tickets and watch Jeff's talk. $30 for a book and general admission. So you get the Web We Weave, just $10 if you want to watch. Commonwealth Club at commonwealth.org. Jeff Jarvis speaking there tonight. He'll be back on the show next week. Paris Martineau, she's at The Information. If you've got a hot tip for her, a lead that she should follow up, signaler, martineau.01. And don't use your work phone, kids. No. And
practice good OPSEC in this house.
OPSEC's everything. We do OPSEC here. Thank you, Paris. Thank you, Micah. Tomorrow we are going to do a 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 0100 UTC. We are going to do, which would actually be December 6th, but December 5th PST. We are going to do a Advent of Code roundup with our Advent of Coders, Darren Oakey and Paul Holder and Sci-Phase and myself. We'll be talking about the first week of the coding challenges and what we have learned. It'll be a little bit of fun. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., you're going to be interviewing Emily Forlini.
Yes,
very
one of my
excited.
Co-hosts for Tech News Weekly, an AMA. So if you've got questions for Emily, head into the Discord and look for the thread, which you'll find there in the events, and you can leave some questions that you might have. I've got.
This is club only, yes?
Yes, club only event. So for you club twit folks.
And you're going to ask her about the family farm, right?
Yes.
Please do.
Yes.
The Dry Belbus Farm. I'm telling you. There's a story there. Do you know that?
Are you talking about
Emily Dry Belbus, the family farm? It's just ask her.
Okay.
Say, Leo said I should ask you about the family farm.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I think
there is a story there.
Oh, there's a huge story.
As we've learned.
Yeah. Oh, you know this story, right?
Why do you know the story?
We had a whole tangent on this last time she was on the show. He immediately was like, Dry Belbus? What about your family farm?
The Dry Belbuses?
Go listen to the last time she was on Twig if you want to hear more. Or listen to Micah's interview tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be streamed live publicly as we usually do, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UTC on all of those 8 channels. But then after we stream it, it goes into the Club Twit Plus feed for a month, and then it becomes public once again. So chance to see it if you really want to watch live. Thank you, Micah. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you both. This was fun.
I miss working with you. And the wonderful Paris Martineau, thank you all for joining us. We do Twig every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UTC. If you want to watch live, you can on those 8 platforms: Discord, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X.com. After the fact, of course, we're on the website, twit.tv/twig. There's a YouTube channel dedicated to This Week in Google, a great place to watch, but also a great place to share clips with other people. If you see something that you think others might want to know about, like the calculator soup. Of course, subscribing is the best way to get it. If you subscribe that way, you'll get it automatically the minute it is available, which is shortly after the show finishes. Thanks to John Ashley, filling in for Benito Gonzalez this week. Great job, John. Appreciate it. He's our producer, director, editor, everything. Does it all. Is that your Christmas tree? Yeah. Very nice.
I needed to put something. It's been blank, and I figured the tree would be nice. It's actually not bad.
It's the holidays.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to the club members, especially, who literally paid for this show this week. We really appreciate it. Keep participating, and if you've not yet joined, twit.tv/clubtwit. And we will see y'all next week on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go.